Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast, episode 892. The road to 900 begins, I guess, a couple episodes ago, and I guess since the very start. I'm your host, Jan Ochoa. Joining me, co-captain of the ship. He doesn't have to get ready because he stays ready. That's right. His shoes are always tied. Jeff Grubb.
Hello, everybody. I'm happy to be here. Janet Cho, great to talk to you, bud.
Fantastic, fantastic. Speaking about talking to you, bud, I'm always happy to talk to this bud. That's right. He's not just a dude like Will Ospreay. He is Dan Reichert.
Let me get to the intro and then I'll give that context. Okay.
Speaking about context, he's always reading between the lines. He's the devil in between the details because he worships him. Jeff Backler.
It's true. Hail Satan. How's everyone doing on this fine Tuesday? I'm good. Thanks for asking. It's a pleasure and a goddamn honor to share the screen with you all this afternoon.
And the honor is all ours because we are joined by the bad boy of games media, Mike Minotti.
Hi, I like it when girls affectionately call each other bitches, and I kind of want like something like that for us.
We call you Mitch.
Mitches.
Yeah, we call you Mitches, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you, Mike, can you give me like a girl?
Oh, I thought there'd be more to that.
No.
Girl.
Okay.
Girl.
Oh, second one was good.
Yeah,
Second one was
better.
good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Second take.
Yes. My lady friends had me watch Pitch Perfect over the weekend. Everybody, it's okay. I've been accepted.
There's like 4 of them. Which one did
There's
you watch?
3, and way back when I only ever saw the 3rd one, and that was really weird because it involves spies and stuff. So, okay, so I saw it because me and my friends.
The second Cars movie?
It kind of was like the second Cars movie. They made the comedic sidekick the main character, Fat Amy. And she just like gets, it's actually a lot like Cars too.
I haven't seen either.
Is that Amy the mater of Pitch Perfect?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I could have told you that, Jan, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we like to see movies on Christmas night, right? Everyone's in town. So like, oh, we'll see that new Jumanji, and it was sold out, and we're already there. It's like, oh, the thing that's showing now that we can't see is Pitch Perfect 3, so here we go. Tell you what, Pitch Perfect 1, a lot better than Pitch Perfect 3.
Yeah. I maintain that that's a pretty okay movie. It's fun.
Yeah.
That one's singing. It's not like Step Up to the Streets about dancing, right? This is a singing movie, not dancing.
Those are fun. Those movies are fun, though.
I'm not.
Can we do a film in 40s with all of those dance movies?
We are not
That's
doing a
so
film in
many.
40, so I get my angels and demons.
No,
That's
we're
a
doing
bridge too
Ricky-O,
far.
story of Ricky first.
We have a lot in the backlog there. Yeah.
Ricky-O.
We should just start watching movies and then, just recording that.
Have you guys seen Love on a Leash?
Oh, I knew this was going to come up.
No,
How
it's
did you
that.
know it was going to come up?
It's good. It's all on YouTube. We watched it this weekend. Mike, how much did you see of it?
None. Everyone keeps telling me in my chat that you saw and you love it, though. Is that right?
What is it? What is it?
It's the worst movie I've ever seen. It's about a dog that gets turned into a man by a magic puddle, and then the man tries to fall in love with the girl. The dog wants to get laid, basically, and then the puddle turns him into a man, and then the dog falls in love. But he only turns into a guy at night. And so his name is Prince, and he's a dude at night and loves a lady, but then he turns into a dog during the day.
I hate that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's illegal.
Yeah, it's confusing. There's a lot of questions it brings up.
What's illegal about it, Mike?
The, bestiality part of it.
She doesn't have sex with a dog, and there's no sex shown in the movie, period. So.
Annette exists, so I feel like...
That has so much dog sex, yeah.
I
It's
just think
mostly
like
dog
when
sex,
you talk about worst movies and the fact that Annette exists.
You don't talk about Annette that way.
I'm
Annette's
talking
part of
about
it.
it.
I love Annette. How dare you?
Yes,
I've had an arc with Annette. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're on the right side of history now, Grubb.
For my birthday, which is 2 months past, I want to sit Adam Driver down and just be like, buddy, be honest. Tell me what you think about Annette. Like, I want to hear it from.
I
he
bet
does?
he likes
Does he?
it.
Yeah.
I bet he's
seems-
real proud of that. I bet he thinks more
You think he's
sexually
proud
about
of
that than Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
100%.
I mean,
100%.
come on. That's to me. That's not that much of a reach to be more proud of this thing than Star Wars.
And that got like a 7-minute standing ovation at a film festival he was at.
Well, that
Like,
We could do anything at
I
Cannes
mean-
and get
Yeah,
us
I get
standing.
Yeah. Hey, how many times have you seen Annette now, Dan?
6.
That's just fucked up,
It's
man.
it's fun to think that Adam Driver was a Marine and then eventually did Annette. That's a funny thing. Like,
Yeah, you're
Dan
right.
said standing O.
Annette.
that's what they're
He was
called.
a producer on Annette
Oh,
too,
my.
so he's got more of an emotional stake in it.
Is Mike saying orgasm? Is that the joke?
I think so. Yeah.
But standing O is just a normal phrase. I feel like
Hey,
standing
what do we
O
do?
is.
What do you want me to do about him, Dan? I'm sorry I brought
I'm
him
not
around,
blaming
all
you,
right?
Grubb. I'm not blaming you.
Oh, thank you.
I'm blaming Mike.
Okay.
I was gonna.
Don't you forget about me.
No, this is not the mic check anymore. Stop it.
I was gonna say that I've been experiencing a lot of brain fog recently, and doing this first fucking thing on a Tuesday does not
rough.
help any of
Yeah,
us.
it's
I'm
rough.
sure. Yeah.
This doesn't feel like Tuesday.
All right, giantbomb.com/join. Giant Bomb is independent. If you want to help us out, you can sign up for a premium membership, $9.99 for a month, or $99 for a full year. All the money goes to us. If you've already done that, and you want to toss us some more bones, coffee, ko-fi.com/giantbomb. Give some more bones over there. And if you were the top donator for a month, Dan Reichert, what will we do?
We and we have a leader right now, and we have a picture. But yeah, the leader for the month will give us a picture that we will all display in the back of our frames for the following month. We need to order these frames.
Yeah.
I assume digital photo frames. If we maybe put them up on a thing or something, like it would show on camera, right?
Yeah.
That's
These
what we're
days,
looking
those
at right now.
frames,
Is getting some like 21-inch digital photo frames, and we will proudly display that in the
There's
background.
4 days left this month, right? That's the end of the period.
Yes, and I think tokens only is still the leader by a good margin. So yes, but that will go on. So pictures coming soon.
If you're asking why we want physical frames, it's because it's funnier.
Yeah, way better.
Yeah.
Way better.
Another piece of business. Happy 30th birthday to our own Turbo Sean.
No
Oh,
shit.
happy birthday,
Yeah.
Sean.
He's
an
so
old
old.
man now.
Sean's
Yeah.
30. Oh, I remember when he wasn't 30. That's crazy.
Yeah. I barely remember. It was so long ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy to jump from 17 to 30, right?
Yeah. Is he gonna like not be able to make fun of us for being as old anymore now that
No.
Yeah.
No, we're a
do
lot
that.
older. We're much
through
older. Yeah.
the transitive property. We've
but
talked a lot about this morning about the transitive property. I think he can still make fun of us.
The good news, Mike, is that now some kids could start making fun of him for being old.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
Okay, so he'll join us on that side of things.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes, it is my dream for someone to approach Sean and call him Unk.
Yeah, we can
Ooh,
do
I
that,
get
yeah.
called Unk so much. It's now beyond the point.
It does make sense. Yeah.
Novel. It's
Yeah,
like
unk energy.
I mean,
Yeah.
you
Uncle
have
Jeff.
nieces and nephews, right?
no,
That
no, no,
makes
no, no, no.
sense.
I'm not talking about the people who rightfully deserve to call me Unk. I'm talking about like teammates and people who are my peers. Uncle Jeff is a thing that I am a little. It was nice in the beginning, in my late 30s, maybe early 40s, but now it's like, oh, you're actually worried I'm gonna fall down and get hurt.
Well, I mean, aren't you glad to have that care and affection aimed at you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me see the other side of that, Jan. I appreciate
that's
it.
When
what
you
I'm
guys
here
start
for.
practicing a sport that'll give you some leg strength, then you won't fall down.
All right. All right.
Ah, so stupid.
Jan said care and affection, and I heard Karen affection for a bit. I was like,
Hey,
what's
you
that?
have that.
Yeah, I do. My mom's Karen. I thought you meant more like I want to see the manager and tell him that I hope he's having a nice day.
Okay, wait. Do you guys think you should have to say uncle or aunt when addressing an uncle or an aunt, or can you
No.
just call them by their first
No,
name?
I just
First
say
name.
Diane. I just I don't
Oh,
say-
Whoa!
I
Okay,
have to say
Strongly
uncle.
disagree.
Oh, I
I
love
have-
this, Mike. Why?
yeah.
Because that's respect.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
one time I
It's
called
respect.
my aunt Bonnie when I was like a teenager, and she got so mad that I didn't call her Aunt Bonnie.
She punched
Yeah.
you in the
Like
face.
doctor.
Yes, that's what she was acting like. It was not. I was like confused for a while, and it took me a long time to piece together. That's why she was.
I would
mad.
be. I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't be upset then, but it would deeply hurt me if my nephews or nieces just said, "Hey, Mike."
Okay, but what? Like, imagine them as like 25-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I still
I'm
do
38 and I have an Uncle Dave. I've only ever called him Uncle Dave. It's weird not to.
that. I thought my aunt's name was Auntie blah blah blah.
That's
for
pretty
the
good.
longest time.
I think it depends on the person, right? I think like certain people wear the uncle or auntie thing better than others, and I think it's a case by case scenario. Your Uncle Mike's, your Uncle Dave's, like those are almost by default
Right,
inseparable.
there are a lot of Uncle Daves.
Of
I have an
course,
Uncle Dave,
those are
yeah.
inseparable,
Yeah, same,
right? Like they
same.
have to be by law.
Do we have
Uncles.
all have an Uncle John?
I do not. I have
My son
Uncle
does.
Steve,
I don't actually.
Pete,
My son has an Uncle John.
Dave.
Okay. Shouts out to the
Gary.
Uncle Daves out there.
Look, both my parents have been married 3 times, so it's like there's a lot of uncles. Like, can someone? My Uncle Dave is like a former Uncle Dave. Does that
You should just call him former Uncle Dave.
former Uncle Dave,
That's
former Uncle
good.
Steve? Okay,
Did you have him as a
Uncle
kid?
formerly
Like,
known as Dave.
was he your uncle when you were like 7? Because if that's the case, then he's always your uncle. If he was like an uncle while you were like
was like-
12 to 11, or yeah.
Yeah, it was like a early teens. Well, he had the Super
on the
Nintendo when
border.
we went to my step grandpa's house, so I would use Uncle Dave's Super Nintendo all the time.
That seems fair.
Yeah,
I have an
yeah.
Uncle Butchie, and I love saying that. Uncle
Ooh,
Butchie.
that's a fun one.
Butchie.
Ooh, I had Uncle Skeeter, but he was
Really?
yeah, great Uncle Skeeter. He was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
fun
What was he
names.
great at?
He just played guitars and bars around Kansas.
guitars.
Yeah, and he helped the
Yeah, yeah.
Muppets put on the show.
Okay.
I had another, and this is a completely unrelated question. When you're brushing your teeth,
No.
cold water or hot water to put on the toothbrush before you wash, before you brush?
Cold.
I do cold, but it hurts my teeth because my teeth are sensitive.
Hot water?
Some
Like-
people swear by hot. I'm a cold boy myself. I've done hot in the past.
Why
I
is it
can't
even
imagine
hot?
hot water is any meaningful size of the
It's all about the brushing
population.
action. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, who wants to brush their teeth with soup, right? Like, I don't know about that. That seems
Jan, you haven't
insane.
answered. Well, did you answer, Jan? I didn't hear you if you did.
Oh, cold water.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
all right.
come on.
We're all cold.
I mean, I'm insane, but not that insane.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah, sound off, Jan. Tell these fucking hot water teeth brushing assholes what is up and what is wrong with them.
Hold on, I'm gonna brush my teeth. I just need the water to warm up.
what are
What
we
do you
talking
mean?
about?
Shut
Because
up.
like you're like the exposure to the water. That's just like a quick.
That's so
Yeah, it's a quick bit. Yeah. Some
Yeah,
people
room
think it works
temperature.
better. I don't get
Who
it.
are you? Who are you people where you need warm water to brush your teeth? I don't understand. Does it make it scrub better? Is that the thinking? Like,
I
where
think
you,
they're like, hot water kills bacteria is I think the thinking there. But that's
That's
not what
ridiculous.
brushing the teeth is all about. For sure. It's about brushing off the
I'm-
I
bacteria.
mean, to wash dishes, of course.
Sure.
To brush the teeth, I don't know.
So I had like a normal toothbrush for a long time that was just like white bristles, and then I ate a bag of Cheez-Its and immediately brushed my teeth afterwards, and it turned it like super duper orange, and so now it looks really gross. But
Still.
it's not. It's just like it got some Cheez-It dust on it.
Okay,
but
maybe-
it looks like this yellowish, orangish too. But it was like clean as a whistle white before that.
to
Is this a
that's-
problem?
Yeah. I think looking gross is like 90% of the thing you don't want your toothbrush to do.
I mean, it makes me upset every time I look at it, and I
Yeah.
have a bunch of backup toothbrushes, so maybe I
Dan,
should just swap it out.
Yeah.
What are we doing here, man?
It's not like you've had major
not
dental
actually
issues
gross.
or something.
Yeah, it's not like actively gross. It's just discolored.
I think it's gross if it's changed color on account of your diet.
yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
I'll change it. I mean, it wasn't like, no, here's the deal. Normal Cheez-Its won't do that. And so that's why I wasn't afraid to do that. But I was eating those like Quest protein Cheez-Its. And I think those are just like way more potent, and it'll just like totally Nickelodeon orange your toothbrush up.
Sure. Yeah. The protein's definitely in the dust. That's where they put the protein.
Dan, I also think for further brushing engagements, maybe it is not the right order of operations to instantly brush your teeth after eating.
But I was like eating right before bed,
have
and
a
I was like,
sip
oh, I
of
should brush my
water.
teeth before I fall asleep. And
have a
it's just
sip
like,
of water.
Yeah, maybe
you know?
gargle first before.
Yeah, there's
brushing.
I'm telling you,
fluoride in
the
that water.
protein Cheez-Its are potent. They will stick
Protein
around.
Cheez-Its?
Protein
What
Cheez-Its.
is-
I don't
Potent
like.
protein Cheez-Its.
I don't like any of these sentences.
Yeah,
that-
everything you've
notable.
said in the last 10 minutes sucks. I just gotta say,
I
man.
like unhealthy foods, and then if you give me a somewhat healthier version of it, like I don't get Skittles anymore.
Oh, yeah,
I have a
if
bunch
they
of
lie
those
to
like
you.
Yum Earth things you get from like Whole Foods, and they're called Giggles instead
No,
of Skittles.
It's
and like,
called a scam. You are scammed by a color,
no,
and
I
that
get
color is the
Chewies,
color
and look,
green.
I was eating them right before we went live. I had fruit snacks and
many.
Chewies,
Oh,
and
it
yeah.
seems early for that, Dan.
It's just
Oh,
sad.
I will
Can
wake like, I've had stuffed crust pizza and healthy Skittles this morning.
You know what? I
Don't say
had
that.
stuffed crust pizza too. I think we both had leftover wrestling pay-per-view pizza this
Did you
morning.
have Domino's wrestling pizza?
No, I got Papa John's.
Okay, but we had wrestling pizza this weekend. Yes,
We had wrestling pizza for sure.
That was a Pac-Man donuts.
it's a good wrestling show. That was a good wrestling show.
Good wrestling. Balatro. Jan, did you see the one wrestler Balatro tights?
Yes, I did.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
I
Good
didn't
job,
realize Speedball Bailey does like Mario World speed runs and stuff. I saw him backstage at Dynamite and didn't really know him, so we didn't talk. And now it's like, oh my god, I would have just dorked out with Speedball Bailey about Mario stuff. He seems awesome. Also, the match was great.
Now is the perfect time to also mention that we have gotten the ability to turn super chats on YouTube. Folks, it's not a guarantee that we'll get to every single super chat that gets sent in. We will get to the super chats during the email segment after we read the regular emails. So if you are on YouTube and you're positioned to send a super chat, hey, holler. We're not going to read all of them. We're going to try to, but please.
Here's one from Martin, also confirming super chats are active. P-Ness.
Is that our first super chat? Is penis?
I think it was actually the second one. I think Antonio Martinez, who said Bomba Gigante.
Should we
okay.
explain the penis thing to them? Because that seems like a legacy thing from our shows that is carrying over.
I just thought it was the word penis was funny. I thought that was it.
It's true.
I think what happened the first time is someone just had leftover characters in their super chat, so they just threw in an extra penis for us, and now everyone ends their super chats to the Game Mess shows with penis.
Give us
yeah,
your
the
extra penises.
letters.
Give us
You
your
don't
extra
have
penises.
to do that here.
Yeah.
You can.
Well, I'm sure that Magic the Gathering would love to follow all the penis talk with a fun reveal of 3 new cards for the Final Fantasy set coming out. We got Rufus Shinra here, Scorpion Sentinel, and Cypher Almazi here. This isn't helping my problem here, gang.
Man, you like dropped this on us like basically during the meeting. It's like, oh, by the way, we have like some Magic reveals, and we're like, what? Explain. I didn't even know it was the Final Fantasy. We got Cypher and Rufus. That's awesome. Look at Rufus. That Rufus boss fight in Final Fantasy VII Remake is an all-timer boss fight. It's so freaking cool with his coin and his dog, and you don't get to pet the dog. You get to shoot it.
Okay.
I am
loves
now
that, his family.
concerned about your own dog, Mike Minotti.
Penny's great. My grandpa's dead. My grandpa can't hurt Penny.
That's right.
What?
There's a long history of his family just doing all kinds of stuff to dogs. Don't worry about it.
What?
There's one dead. There was one.
Let's get through the sponsored
Okay,
segment.
all right, yes,
first.
all right. Shout out to Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast. We're a bunch of other outlets are revealing cards in lead up to the release of the set. Kenny Omega and Adam Cole did one at PAX East. So I think the gauntlet is being thrown down that I think Mike and I have to fight Blessing and Snowbike Mike in a 2v2 Magic duel. I don't
That'd be
think
great.
they do that.
That's cool.
But we'll do it. You know,
They used to do that, right? That used to be a thing, or did I imagine all that? Maybe I imagined
We
it.
could just do ones-on-ones and add up tallies. We could do a round-robin tournament or something. Oh, these cards are so cool. The Scorpion Sentinel from Final Fantasy VII. Oh, the quotes are so good. Cloud Strike says, Barrett, be careful. Attack while its tail's up. It's going to counterattack with its laser. I remember when Cloud said that in the video game Final Fantasy VII.
thank you, Mikey. Do you remember? There's no quote on the Cypher Almazi quote. Almazi? Right?
I guess I would say, Almazi. Let's say Almazi.
You see, this one's from the Final Fantasy VIII set because you can see Squall over there in the corner. But yeah, these cards are coming out soon. And I can't wait to have my hands on them.
How does it? It's just
dirty hands.
Genuinely serious. How does it work? It's just like a separate game from like the regular Magic stuff.
No. You can just put it in with all the other stuff. But like they're making decks that. So I don't think there's an 8 deck. There's a 7 deck, a 6 deck, a 14 deck, and a 10 deck commander decks. Then there's some other stuff, and then there's just booster packs with all sorts of cards from all across the franchise as well. It looks really cool. We're getting a ton of amazing art for this thing, just like these cards right here. It looks really, really cool. I love Final Fantasy, and I am going incredibly vertical for all of this.
Hey, did your grandpa kill a dog?
Yeah, so let's talk about dog murder now.
Is that what happened?
Okay,
Well,
well, this
okay.
is my story to tell. Well, now it's
Yeah, because I don't remember the details. I wondering, like, are we talking about the one where he shot a dog, or is it another one where your grandma hung a dog? It's all
What?
Okay. You know what?
wait
What?
a second. No, wait a second. Wait a second.
You know what? Let's get to that later. I can't have
No,
this.
cut the music. Your grandma hung a dog?
No, that dog was fine. I saved it.
He might actually save the dog. It was an accident, all right? It
Oh,
sounds worse when I
okay.
just make it a
This
funny
is-
thing.
Okay, why did your grandpa shoot a dog?
Guys, didn't want it anymore.
Wait, he did it because he didn't want it anymore? That's the option?
Look, it was the 2000s, all right? It was a
No,
different time.
this was the 80s. This was the 70s.
Was
I
the
think.
dog like racist or something? Like,
Nah,
what, like
I think it was my dad's dog, and my dad went away to college. And my dad went away to med school, and my grandpa, every time my dad called back, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, the dog's not looking too good today." And then each time, like, "Oh, it's looking worse and worse." And eventually, it's like, "Oh, the dog died." And then
So
my
this
dad
is
found out way
premeditated.
later why the dog died.
this was premeditated. So he like planted the seeds.
No,
with
yeah,
your-
my grandpa didn't kill a dog in anger.
No, well, I mean, like that would be better. I don't understand. So he like slowly but surely dropped seeds to your dad. He's like, the dog's looking shitty.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
if
try
it's
to
gonna
like,
survive the winter."
yeah, for sure.
then
Look,
he
he
just
should not
shot
have
it.
done that.
No. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that why you have like a weird thing when you can pet a dog in a game?
No,
Yeah, he's
God,
afraid
look,
of getting attached to
No,
I
dogs.
would-
that's a thing.
Um,
That's a
I
thing.
would never hurt a dog, for God's sake.
Okay, well, I do see a chat coming in telling me to ask you what side your family fought on in World War II.
Well, okay, my grandpa was
Well,
Italian.
There's a well.
Well,
okay.
my grandpa was Italian, so he lived in Italy during, the 30s and early 40s. So, yeah, he fought
It's not like he was selecting from a menu, Dan.
I get it.
It's not like he didn't get
Yeah.
to pick.
I'm not a
I
history
get it.
buff.
Didn't you say you have family from Germany?
I think so.
Yeah, what do you think they were doing during World War II?
I don't know him.
I get it. Just following orders.
Look, he was
huh?
eventually captured by the Nazis instead because they turned against Italy and they killed everybody in his platoon, but him and his friend, because they could cut hair. So then they had they're barbers in some POW camp, and then it was
Oh my
liberated
God.
by the Americans, right? But like they didn't trust the Americans yet either because they were just fighting them a few years ago. So they had to kind of just like slowly, they just kind of stayed in their bunker for a few days because they were afraid to get out. Then finally, they just sort of left, just kind of walked out. And I think they were in Germany or France, and they just started walking back to Italy or something, and they eventually got there.
Thanks
So
to
this-
Magic the Gathering for
Sweet. That's pretty
Yo,
good. So
once again, the cards are Rufus, Shinra, Scorpion, Sentinel, and Cypher Almazy. Set coming out during the summer.
Yeah, he was
So-
adopted in Italy. His mother was a famous opera singer.
so if your grandfather is your grandfather.
Yeah, my grandpa Minotti.
So if Grandpa Minotti wasn't a good barber, you would not be alive.
No, Mikey. He wasn't even that good. He would cut my dad's hair. It was terrible.
And,
He
what's-
just said he
and
was.
there's some sort of irony with you being bald and all of this that I don't know. What to
He had a
really-
great head of hair till the day
I
he
bet.
died, actually.
You can't trust bald barbers, okay?
No.
You just can't. Yeah.
No, he was great. He was, well, except for the dog killing thing.
Girl. All right.
Shit, he earned it, okay?
I'm glad both of my grandpas are dead and I never met them, so I didn't learn any deep lore.
That's probably for the best, Jan, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
God, he loved wine. My dad never drink much, but my grandpa, later on when I smelled wine as an adult, I'm like, that's grandpa. Now I understand why he smelled like that.
that smell, and I think it's church.
Oh, yeah, kind of like that, but more
sure.
the Italian wine's it's a more intense aroma.
Church or Mike Mahardy is what the
Of
wine
course.
Sure,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Small
Like
A.
my heart
Is Italian wine is that higher highbrow, lowbrow in compared to Italian brain rot, Mike?
Italian brain rot, Mike. I like that.
All right, games. Jeff Grubb and I recorded a quick look over the weekend for Despelote, a very relevant game compared to everything we've talked about.
Oh,
that
yeah, very in
handles,
line.
childhood memories in Grubb. Where is it again? Is it in Ecuador?
It's in Ecuador, yeah. Travels throughout the different dates of the team Ecuador trying to qualify for the World Cup.
The quick look is probably going to go up after the show today. I don't have any more expanded thoughts than how Grubb talked about it the last time we brought it up. But Despelote is such a fantastic indie vehicle for like telling someone's story. The means that they do it, and like there are select pieces that are kind of highlighted or stick out from like this person's memories from like these specific events. It's really neat. I do like the blurred out kind of derez textures of some of the other areas in it. It's really cool.
I'm a sucker for whenever they show real footage amidst like game stuff.
Because Metal Gear Solid 1. I the same way.
Well, but it's not exactly like that was just full on FMV of like nukes going off. This one is like you'll see a TV of a soccer game in the midst of a like diegetically like imposed into like it looks really cool. Yeah,
it's great. Yeah. The visual style like it serves a purpose while also looking fantastic. That's a good thing for an indie game to kind of pull off for sure.
Yeah, very small team. The game is like less than 3-4 hours. So if you're looking to have an quick emotional journey that you can experience, 100% go with that. Also, you can kick a Shrek DVD, so that's fantastic.
Oh, cool.
Right.
Speaking about kicking things, we kicked it on Friday by playing the Mosquito Gang.
That was fun.
It was
a
fun.
good time.
A Mosquito cover of Gasolina and All-Star and Gangster's Paradise, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Played on the kazoo to sound like a mosquito. Yeah, it was
it's very good.
This is one of these asymmetrical multiplayer games. One versus a team of players. It's best if you have friends like doing all the roles. Sure. I don't know if I'll ever play this game again, but it's one of those games where I'm like, I'm very glad we had an excuse to do it because it was an awesome afternoon.
Right.
It was 1v4, so it was like perfect for us.
Yeah. It's not like, is it balanced very well?
Right.
No. But is it really silly and funny? Yes.
Yeah. It definitely felt like one of those like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or what's the really big one?
Dead by Daylight. Yeah.
Dead by Daylight, where you may be better served if there was progress carried over from round to round, because the human is definitely a little bit lacking in the lead up to
we weren't doing like someone pointed out, like had we been closing doors behind us in one of these levels and then the mosquitoes had to fly down and go through the trap door. It's like, oh duh, we just weren't even thinking
there's
that
a lot
deep,
to
let
it,
alone like there's probably a couple more levels below that we didn't even scratch. So the fact that we weren't doing the most basic stuff makes a lot of sense. Although so the way it was working for us playing as the human was like, try to kill them as much as you can throughout the level. Really, though, if you could just kill one at the very end, you win, because all four have to escape for the mosquitoes to win. So it kind of did bring it all down to that one moment. So it's like if I were designing this, I would try to find more ways to mitigate that or kind of force confrontations at other points. But for what it is, again, we were having a good time.
And I do wish that like there are parts where it's like there's one that's like a Jurassic Park level basically, and there's like a big mosquito in a tube, and there's like 3 color-coded like chemicals you can put in. And I thought that something was going to happen where it's like, oh, it's going to let this big mosquito loose and help me or whatever. But it's just like everything just kind of winds up giving you money, So I mean, again, small team, small game, but like some more fun things they could have done with it.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised after UPF. Also, we need more mosquito games.
Yeah. Did someone say in the chat that there was a Mr. Mosquito 2 that only came out in Japan? Because if that's the case,
I think that's true.
I gotta try that.
I'll find out right now.
Grubb, let me know.
All right, moving along the train of games. Speaking about trains, Dan Reichert, you played Monster Train 2.
Oh my goodness, I have been deep in that. I didn't play the first one.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said nice.
Oh yes, Bonk had played the first one. I know she she was big on like Slay the Spire. She got me kind of into that, and I think I always thought that Monster Train was just like a Slay the Spire thing, but it is in a way that it's a deck builder, but there's also some like I don't want to call it auto battling because I think that's selling it short, but it's like you're kind of placing your units on the 3 levels of the train to start, and then the actual battles aren't like you aren't playing a card every single time you're attacking. You kind of set up the pieces, and then a combat run goes almost like the Unicorn Overlord,
sure.
Where it's like you would just kind of watch the battles and you kind of set the pieces in motion. But yeah, it's really cool. Like you'll get your like primary clan, your secondary one, and so you can mix those cards. There's a lot of fun like synergies and things like that. I'm like, I think I played like 7 or 8 hours this weekend, and I still feel like I'm very, very early on. I've only unlocked 3 of the 5 like factions. Very, very intimidating at first. That I've played Slay the Spire in some games like this, but it's just like a lot of learning like what these terms are, what valor means, what all these different but the tooltip situation is very, very good. So if you're ever confused about what something does, all the stuff is right there for you to figure it out. So yeah, it's really, really loving it. It's more different than Slay the Spire than I expected, but just having a great time with it.
Yeah, out of all of the games that kind of came after Slay the Spire, I think Monster Train 1 is the one that hit with me the most. I know there was Griftlands, and that didn't really land with me too much. The Steam World, what was the card-based one?
I don't know if they're all card-based.
Well, there was like one that it was like medieval setting, and you had like a party of 3.
I know what you're talking
and
about.
of Gilgamesh. Thank you.
Yeah. Gilgamesh, yes.
Yeah. And that didn't really resonate with me. I'm really excited to check out Monster Train 2. Dan, does it still have like the weird hell versus heaven aesthetic of everything?
It's got some of that going on. Honestly, the narrative stuff I've just been kind of blazing through. It does not seem important to me, at least. So yeah, I just kind of went right through it. But incredible Steam Deck game, obviously.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Real quick, I was able to confirm the existence of Mr. Mosquito 2 by going to the Giantess Wiki, which is one of the first results when you Google Mr. Mosquito 2, because all the characters are going to be gigantic, and apparently they're fans of that on the Giantess Wiki.
I heard giantess as in like a giant scientist, but you mean the fetish.
I mean the fetish, yes. Yeah, they don't have a giant science.
Thanks for clarifying, Mike. Appreciate it.
Wikipedia.
Jan, transition to a game that I didn't play. I got to go to the bathroom.
Oh, there he goes.
Okay, I was about to queue up another one of his games, but instead, I'll
you don't
just
look
talk.
okay.
He looked like he was about to shit his pants as he walked away.
Something snuck up and bit him. Right? You saw that, right? All of a sudden.
He's about to inflict doom on a toilet, I believe. But Mike Minotti, you have been playing Doom 2.
Yeah. I kind of got that Doom 1 plus 2 more recent compilation remastering. It's out on everything, but I was playing it on Switch. I played these games back in the day, but I didn't beat them. So I finished Doom 1. I'm like, man, that's still really good. I played even less of Doom 2 back then. I think the subtitle was Hell on Earth. And as a kid, I was like, I think this might be too much for me. It has the word hell in it. Like, that's a swear. What will I do if my parents catch me playing? So it's funny to play it now, be like, oh, this is basically just Doom 1 with some extra stuff. And the extra stuff is cool. You get the super shotgun for the first time. You get the Revenants. The maps are really big. You got some set in, like things that look like cities, but still very much that Doom 1 tech. But playing through it was a ton of fun. So I was actually shocked how much fun I still have playing through Doom 1 and Doom 2. The Dark Ages is out, and that's great. And I've been playing that when I can. But, it's very easy for me to play games at night in my bed. So this has been sort of my go-to for that. And, I map quick save to up on the D-pad, quick load to down the D-pad. I'm not being too precious about that. I'll just save and load as much as I need to so I can kind of get through everything and see it. And it's still a ton of fun, and it still feels like a good challenge doing that, just kind of clawing and scraping your way through all these difficult levels.
It's ripping and tearing, actually. Not clawing
my bad.
and scraping.
Yeah, actually, you're right. That's embarrassing. I mean, I apologize deeply. But yeah, I played some of these newer like boomer shooters, and they're fun. Like I know Dan played Boltgun. He's going to talk about that. And I liked Boltgun, but I kind of fell off that. It's kind of weird to me. Like, actually, just like Doom, the game that started all this, and like its direct sequel is still better than a lot of these even today.
Yeah, Boltgun's getting a sequel or DLC or something.
It's
full sequel. All right, yeah. It is weird, like how hard it is for indie games that are clearly inspired by genres like that to recapture that. So yeah, when I went back to Doom 1 and Doom 2, when that got that Night Dive treatment, it was like, yeah, this is refreshing in how much it holds up. I'm glad it still does. I'm glad to hear Doom 2 does as well.
What's wild is there's so much more in this compilation. Like, yeah, it's Doom 1, Doom 2, but it's all these other campaigns from like compilations from fans that were officially released at some point. John Romero twice went back and just made like new campaigns, something with an S, like Sigil 1.
Sigil, yeah.
Sigil 1 and Sigil 1 and Sigil 2 that I think were definitely like the 20th and then 30th anniversaries of Doom. So I could just go and play like tons more OG Doom if I wanted to, and I like almost kind of do. So, yeah, if you are curious about playing just the OG Doom, it is still a ton of fun. Works great on Switch, so I'm sure it works great everywhere. I mean, it's a very old game, but for so long, Jeff, you know this, we just didn't get good Doom ports. It was a very difficult thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've never played any of the original Dooms.
Really, not even touched them.
I mean, on a friend, I don't remember if it was Doom, but a friend showed me on his TI-84 Texas Instruments calculator. I think it was Doom. It might have been Wolfenstein.
It was probably Doom.
Do you think that's just a consequence of like your generational like blinders, right?
Yeah.
Where you know?
I didn't have access to like a PC maybe until like high school.
Yeah.
In terms of like something that could actually play something.
Mhm.
But yeah, hearing Mike wax poetically about these previous Doom ports makes me curious.
I mean, it helps us because it's like for us, it was everywhere. It was inescapable. So it like, and then I played it a lot at the time, but it's like even now when I think about it, it's this important thing. So it's like an artifact almost for me. If you don't have that context, I wonder if it changes things a little bit.
Yeah, it was like when you were talking about it last week, and I was thinking about like my first memories of playing it, and it was sort of like the first exposure I had to like gore.
Yeah.
Like of like
Sure.
video game gore. And then, Doom does that weird thing where like all the sprites face you no matter where you're looking.
Yeah.
And it kind of like makes it all about you in a weird way, right?
Sure.
Where you're just like forced to kind of like face that and to hear the sounds and do all that. Yeah, it's maybe I was just a little soft when I first was exposed to Doom, but Doom kind of scared me a little bit, guys.
It's a little scary.
Doom was like a little above my head when I onboarded. Sorry, Dan, I'm too soft for you, and I'm not.
I mean, I'm younger than you, and I thought Doom was cool as hell as a kid.
Yeah, look, I'm just being honest with my emotions, just trying to tell the
I do
truth
think
here.
it's as close to essential reading as we get it with video games, right? Everyone
Sure.
should play some Doom.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I played some of that Doom 1+2, if that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
That stuff. Very, very good. Really
It's
enjoying
fantastic.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, wait, Dan, how are you playing it? Are you playing on the Switch like Mike or what?
No, I started playing with controller on the big screen, and then I played with mouse and keyboard, and it's like, this actually feels right. Because as much as I didn't play PC games growing up, Doom, since it was sprite-based, basically, like my computer could actually run it. And so like it did, the mouse and keyboard, or specifically the keyboard, I guess, felt right,
Yes, yeah, exactly. Keyboard is the difference there, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because it's almost weird having the mouse, and then it's like, well,
Yeah,
obviously you can't look up and down and stuff like that.
No
so-
mouse look, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it was awesome.
It's so interesting hearing y'all talk about how scary it was, and I remember Brad talking about how formative Doom was for him also.
Yeah.
And just me seeing it now in where I'm at, it's like, this was scary, guys.
I mean,
You had to be
it
there.
was the
Yeah, I
installation
had to
was
be there,
scary.
totally.
You had to like jump through hoops to get it to fucking run, and then all the sounds, like the roaring.
I thought Neverending Story was terrifying. As
Oh,
Yeah.
that was like the first movie I saw in theaters was Neverending Story 1 or 2, and yeah, scarred me.
yeah, I don't
Poor
know
horse.
how Falcor was supposed to be like a friendly character. That shit
No.
is scary.
I think the Rock thing is scarier than
They're
Falcor.
all scary.
Rock?
Like
assholes.
Falcor's just a big dog, right? Like
Yeah,
Don't
long
tell my
dog.
grandpa.
long dog with like a flying long dog who's never, this
I watched
story
The
you've heard
Rock on
1,000
Sunday
times.
night. The Rock is really good.
You
It's
said
not
the
scary.
word. You
Yes,
said the
we
Rock, and he heard it, and so now he wants to talk about the Rock again.
Yeah,
in case
yeah,
anyone
you-
was wondering what was going on.
I saw The Rock this weekend again. The Rock's good.
Yeah, we know. We know. ZX poison gas. Like we know.
I made a cocktail based on VX. I made a VX vial cocktails for me and my friends that looked like the little green gimmicks, and it was made with Midori, and it was good. And then we watched The Rock.
Did your face melt at the speed of sound or whatever he says?
That's part
like,
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is
Turns
Midori
out so
apple
very good.
adjacent?
Melon.
Yeah, it's a
Pretty
melon
bad
liqueur.
still.
All right. Speaking about quick looks, Grubb and I also did one for TMNT Tactical Takedown. This comes from Strange Scaffold. In the span of that quick look, Grubb, I had
Yes.
told you that I went from not liking the game to enjoying the game, and unfortunately, I think I'm back to not liking the game. In terms of like a tactics game, this is like super duper light, and it's kind of a bummer, especially after the tactics genre had such a strong year last year with Tactical Breach Wizards, which is a super fantastic game. for you tile sickos like me out there. But I think where this falls short is that everything is fairly light because the character pieces, like the turtles, the enemies, they all look like board game pieces, like Warhammer figures that are stuck to a platform. And on top of that, each level you are only playing as one turtle. And that kind of defeats the purpose for me because, like, you know, when you play those beat 'em up games, part of the fun is playing with and seeing all of the turtles. I understand if you're playing solo dolo that you'd only be playing as one, but in a tactics setting where you could take your time, I feel like it would have lended itself to the benefit of the game to be able to play as at least 2 turtles at a time.
I mean, I've got to be honest. I didn't get to watch that quick look yet. I would have expected to play as all 4 Ninja Turtles.
I
That's
assumed that
usually
as well. Yeah.
It's weird.
That being said, like the combat is fine. I think Leonardo and Raphael are definitely much more fun to play as. This tactical takedown does a thing that is very popular in all tactics games now, where you just want to kind of kick someone off the edge of the level screen, and that's fun. There is some synergy with the moves. So, for instance, like Leonardo, if you knock out an enemy with one of his attacks, he gets like a buff, and that leads into a more powerful attack the next action that he takes. But overall, it does feel kind of super duper light. It also doesn't control well on a Steam Deck. For me, this is like such a minor nitpick, but with a tactics game that has a tile grid on it, I need to be able to use a D-pad, and just being stuck with using an analog stick doesn't feel the best. The writing is also super light, which is kind of a surprise to me, given Strange Scaffold's history with like making banger stories and having like really fantastic writing. It is a fairly like just feature light game, which is kind of a bummer because I'm just as much of a turtle sicko as I am a Power Rangers sicko. But yeah, if there was an option to maybe replay some of the levels as other turtles, that could be cool. I just don't see this game being able to integrate playing as multiple turtles in a stage. That being said, in the future, I think it'd be sick as fuck to have an XCOM style like game with all of the turtles at once. Maybe you throw in a Casey Jones in there as well. Perhaps an April O'Neil.
Give me April.
Okay, I'll give you April.
So
Maybe
subtle.
a Kino.
Don't give him April. Don't give it to him.
Now I feel tainted because.
Yeah, are you okay?
No, I feel tainted because of Mike's just outright need for people. Yes.
Jan Zachmo wants to know from a super chat who everyone's favorite turtle is. We know that you're a Leo guy. Dan, you're a Donatello.
Yep.
Really? Because I could see you being like Donatello's a nerd and a loser, but you
No,
like
he's smart and he
Donatello.
had a bow staff. That's who I was for Halloween. Yeah.
But like
They're all cool.
They're
Jan,
all
by the way,
cool.
Jan, I'm sorry about your. Please, the transition was happening, and I saw it.
I know.
And hang on to it. Hang
But
on
Mike's
to
like,
it.
okay, it was a balance because Mike said, well, we're getting money. So
Yeah,
at one time,
I
it's
understand
okay.
that, but yeah. But I saw where Jan was going. I don't want to. Yeah.
No.
I understand.
Let's finish with the
Michelangelo. I'm basic bitch.
I didn't like Michelangelo.
Oh, yeah?
No, he wasn't taking it seriously enough.
Oh my lord!
Too much of a goober.
Yeah, Donatello could fight and he
I
could do
don't know.
machines.
I don't know if there is a funnier reason you could have said for not liking something. I don't think there is a funnier thing you could have said.
There were stakes. There's a fucking technodrome out
Then
there. You can't
someone's
be
not
yelling about
taking it
pizza all
seriously.
day.
Therefore, Dan Reichert cannot respect it.
He wasn't the only one advocating for pizza, though.
I know they all like pizza, but he seemed distracted by pizza, where the others were like, well, we have to eat to fuel ourselves.
I'm just saying you're pinning all the pizza shit on Michelangelo, and I think that's a disservice to the rest of the group.
He wasn't the only one advocating. Backlar, who's your favorite?
I embraced the entire group. I guess I really kind of liked Raphael, maybe more based
He was an
on.
asshole.
You
Yeah,
hate
but
Splinter, though, right? Because you're
No.
like, he's not a real dad.
Well, biologically speaking,
Man, that's a
correct.
callback. Forgot about that.
But a father figure and an important one and an invaluable one, of course. Like, I love Splinter. He's also seems like the one I'd want to most cozy up with and like give a hug to.
Sure.
I
Do you
thought
guys
Raphael.
remember
Yeah.
in the Michael Bay TMNT movies that?
No, I've never seen that.
No.
Okay, well, Splinter is played by Tony Shalhoub.
Monk.
Really?
That's actually amazing and further solidifies my coziness
Holy
declaration. But Raphael was kind of funny in the movies too because he sort of had this Brooklyn accent for no reason.
And he swore.
They're from New York. That's a reason.
Yeah. Well, he swore. What do you mean?
He swore in that movie.
He said damn.
He said damn.
That's not swearing, but
That's a swear.
That's a swear. That's the entry level swear.
He didn't say fuck, but
My kid's been singing that Steve's Lava Chicken song, and he says hell in that. So Addie keeps singing it, and she says hell every time, and she looks at me every time, and every time I laugh because it's the funniest thing to hear a kid say hell.
All right.
I like Mikey because his name's like mine.
Okay, great.
That's the worst reason. Okay. Yeah, Leonardo just seemed like a cop, I guess, a little bit.
I just like all the Boy Scout characters. It's
Yeah,
Leonardo,
you're a Cyclops.
Captain America, it's Cyclops, it's Simon from the Chipmunks.
But I don't think any turtle gets like more hate than the other ones, or deserves more. I think as far as like 4 characters are concerned, they really did a good job at developing like that stuff in a pretty surprising way,
Guys, if you look at the fucking lore behind Cyclops and Leonardo, they are not fucking cops. All right? That is what propaganda is put in your fucking heads. Pick up a goddamn book. Mike tainted my segue. So Grubb, Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon.
All right, yeah.
Good job.
Done.
He
Got us
does
back
wear
on-
blue. Let's just say, okay, he does wear blue.
Got us back on track.
So does Paddington. Is Paddington a cop? He's just a bear
I have
obsessed
to
with
watch
marmalade.
those. I haven't seen him.
Paddington was
This rage. This
he's
78
Antifa.
might be low.
Oh, God.
All right. Have any of you heard of Tainted Grail: The Fall of Avalon?
No, is it like King Arthur shit?
It is King Arthur shit. Yeah, it's
Cool.
Okay, here's how it starts. You select some character qualities while someone talks to you. They happen to be on the other side of a jail cell. You're inside the jail cell, and you have to escape this jail cell dungeon from the bottom of this It's Oblivion. It's so Oblivion
Whoa,
coded.
look at
It's
that. Not what I was expecting. This looks fancy.
it's so I think there's this thing where it's like there's a lot of people who are like, man, all I ever want to do are play these Bethesda open world RPGs. People should make more of those. And this is someone saying, we'll do that, and we're going to do it like with Arthurian legend, and we'll have all the magic stuff you like. It is an open world action Western RPG with pretty decent like production values and storytelling and acting. It's not like trying to be AAA blockbuster on like level for all of those qualities, but it's really good in all of those qualities, at least so far. And I'm surprised at how fun it is to play. I think they kind of rub off some of the rough edges from the genre, where it's like, oh, the lock picking works just like Oblivion, but it's a little bit easier. Actually, you know what? That one's more like Skyrim. They don't use the Oblivion lock picking there. But either way, they are picking from the genre, doing the stuff that people like, and delivering something that I think is pretty good. I've only just kind of started getting in there and seeing how it operates. So I'll be curious to see if it can keep my interest. Like, what are the quests like? I don't have answers to that right now because I've not gone deep on any of the quests. But the initial sort of like the way it introduces itself to the player, I thought worked really well.
Is King Arthur real?
Like,
Like
Like the guy.
yeah,
the real person. I don't know.
We think probably, but it was like
it's-
very old.
So
No,
is this
like
based in like, does this have magic and stuff in it, or is this try to be in like realistic,
this-
like
this
Kingdom
has-
Come?
in the video I'm watching right now, as I talk to you, there's a guy that just rubbed his hand on a sword and the sword caught on fire, and that's not a shoot.
So historical context, but with fantasy elements.
The historical context is your overstay. It's like it's pulling from the myth, the Arthur legend. So whether he's real or not doesn't matter. Like that, they're not worried about.
You weren't
that
asking if magic's real. I know that.
I know magic's not real.
Right,
I just didn't know if
I
didn't know if Arthur was real. I knew definitely more Arthur is real.
There might have been Arthur, but he would not have resembled anything that you think of when you think about King Arthur.
It'd be completely
and,
unrelated
from
to
the
everything
myths.
you've ever heard about him.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is not a Kingdom Come realistic thing.
No.
No.
Got it. Okay.
But it's still in that open world RPG genre. Although that Kingdom Come's very much about like being a dude having to like do these things in that world, and this is you're gonna go learn some magic spells and you're gonna get some cool armor and some cool items and equip those to your character, and so you can go do more quests and get even cooler items. I am happy to see a game like this can be pulled off without having to be like one of the biggest games in the world, right?
Sure.
And for a long period there, to make a game this robust and with this the size of a world, you'd have to justify it by being like, well, we're going to sell a ton of copies and we can make it make sense that way. Here, it's like, no, they're just going to do their thing because they like it, and I think there's going to be an audience there for it. So yeah,
It's why we weren't getting very many of these games for a while, and then like this year, the floodgates have opened quite a bit. So we got Kingdom Come, we did get Avowed, we got Oblivion, and now this. Just tons of these now.
Avowed was this year, right?
That was
earlier this year.
Yeah.
Holy smokes!
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to things that may be questionable if they are real or not. Warhammer Boltgun, Words of Vengeance.
Yes. Look, they just any game comes out and it's a typing of the dead. Like I'm gonna play it. That's all I need, and that's all this is. It's free to play. I played it on Steam. I assume it's just on Steam, unless it'd be weird to plug in a keyboard to a console. But yeah, it's the same type of thing where you're typing it in words as it pops up above characters' heads to kill them and shoot them, and then occasionally there will be a guy flying around throwing fireballs at you and stuff. You got to individual letters real quick before they hit you. It is straight up typing the dead. It's not trying to be anything else, and that is like my favorite one-off weird experiment. Was like, oh, let's take this established franchise and just make it a typing game, which that went further, where it's like they got Dreamcast strapped to their backs and everything. But
Why am I not doing this?
doing what?
Like the typing stuff. It seems like it's for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Backlar. Have you not played Typing the Dead?
I play Typing in the Dead.
Okay. Well, then try this out. The only thing I don't love about this is that so many of the things are like proper nouns from the Warhammer universe. So it's like there's a certain amount of muscle memory where it's like I'm typing in sentences. Like that's how Typing the Dead did it. Whereas like this will be like, it's Herald of Phenoxidilf, and it's like I'm not used to typing this or whatever. So like
That's stupid.
that's a little hard. I wish I could toggle off like, hey, just make this real words, but it's still very fun.
What kind of keyboard you rocking with this? Are we like, let's get into details?
The one you recommended to me. This guy.
Oh, the Keychron?
Yeah, Keychron. Yeah. Actually, no. I guess I was playing it with a wireless earlier. But
Oh,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you just lied. Got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's right. Yes.
Backlar, did you ever check out Crypt Master? That was another type.
Oh, yeah, I know I was supposed to. I installed it, and then I don't know. I just kept kind of living my life and not going playing that game.
That game is so interesting and weird. I like it a lot.
I gotta fucking get back to that. All right, I'll do it.
I'm a big fan of games that are just in black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like life.
The television that my grandmother used to watch. Speaking about grandmas, Dan, you've been playing something called Grandma No.
Yeah, with an exclamation point. Yeah. It's very Octodad esque. It's in the Octodad genre in that it's just a family at home, and it's very physicsy and wobbly and weird. And except for instead of an octopus, you're a grandma. And there's a few areas. There's like the foyer, the backyard, the living room, and there's just dumb shit you have to do. Like you've got a quest log that pops up with like, okay, plant these seeds, do this thing, and you're usually just like fighting with physics and carrying things around, cleaning things up. Sometimes it'll spawn like a WarioWare type mini game where it's just like you're controlling her hands as you're like sorting things and stuff like that. There's a fart button, and that's fun. It does the stink lines and everything. And then sometimes it's either a puke or a sneeze button. I'm not sure. Depending on when you go in the backyard, the fart button was making me like eject green stuff from my face, which I feel maybe they're trying to do a sneeze thing with that. But yeah, I don't know.
We got to figure out the answer to this, Dan. I'm not going to be able to rest until I know if it's puke or if it's snot.
I don't remember. I think it was a lot. Like when I think vomit, I don't think green. I don't think green vomit. I think like
Cartoon vomits,
a
green.
brownish thing where it's like I think this was a sneeze, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, it's one of those games where it's like you watch 2 seconds of it in a video and it's like, oh, I get what this is going to be. It's going to be a silly, fun. Like I streamed it and I saw credits. It's a short game. But yeah, it definitely was making me laugh throughout.
Is it like do you take damage or is it just like causing havoc? Like what's the risk reward here?
I don't think I died at any point. Okay. It's just like, hey, plant.
You didn't break a hip or something?
No, you fall down a lot, and you have to press buttons to get back up. But there's no lives. I don't remember any kind of game over screen. It would just be like, oh, I need to plant these 4 seeds, or I need to cut this lawn, or do this thing. And
I'm gonna put this in front of my kids. Like I want to play it too, but I'm gonna put this in front of my kids, and I bet they're gonna have fun with it. It looks Goat Simulator-esque.
Yes, yeah, totally in that vein. Yes, I bet your kids will like it.
Okay, cool. Oh man, those are some cool raccoons too. They'll like that.
This grandma looks like my shoot grandma, and I think I may be compelled to play this. She's also very little and has long, stretchy arms.
Nice.
Speaking about grandmas, no one I haven't seen a grandma in this video game. I don't know who
Movie,
put
yeah.
this on. Claire Obscure, Expedition 33.
Yeah, I've been playing even more of this long weekend. Spent a lot of time streaming and playing that, and I think everyone knows this game is very, very good. But boy, this game is very, 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 very good. I don't mean to immediately pit it against something. Like last year there was Metaphor Fantasia. I was like, I can't believe we got such a good one of these. Maybe the best one we've gotten since the golden age of JRPGs. And unless this game somehow really doesn't stick the landing, I probably like this even more than Metaphor. It's so freaking
I think
fun.
I'm with you, Mike.
It's with Metaphor, there are times where it's like, okay, time to take a break. I almost never want to stop playing this game. It's just a matter of, I guess I better go to bed or something now, or people are expecting me to be at this place, so I guess I gotta say goodbye to my French family for a bit. But it's really great because I'm like 20 hours in now, so the amount of character customization is fantastic with the Pictos that kind of give you different perks, and each weapon. Weapons aren't just stat sticks. They also have their own kind of passives that really change the way you play with the character. It's just like combine that stuff. I just have these character builds. It almost feels like I'm cheating sometimes how overpowered they are. Like Lune, who's kind of the wizard of the group. If I shoot people, I get these stacks, and then I could spend those on spells. And I'm just doing that so much in my first turn, dealing massive amount of damage and massive amounts of break damage. So characters are getting stunned. It is feeling so satisfying. And the story beats just keep coming. A party member tried to proposition me on my last playthrough. It was very exciting, but I had to say no because I may be more interested in a different party member. But the game was very much trying to tell me it's okay. Yeah, see, I was disappointed, but she understands, and in fact, you're better friends. I'm like, okay, game, thank you for taking the guilt away. I felt terrible.
Mike,
because you felt guilty for not sleeping with this character.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
I thought you were saying the game was saying it's okay to sleep with this one because you'll still get to sleep with the other
No,
one.
in fact, I asked my chat. They were very don't sleep with her. You won't get to sleep with the other one.
All right. That's important. I get it.
Mike, how do you feel about the pacing of this? Because part of I can't look at Metaphor as fondly because of how much time I spent in that world.
Yeah, I like Metaphor a lot. I think all of these JRPGs being 80 hours or more, I think it's a bit of a mistake that we've gotten a little comfortable with this. And it's funny with Metaphor because Persona did so much of making that a thing, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of get it. It's, with those games, there's so much of the social aspect and doing all of that, right? But even that, sometimes the pacing is a little bit weird where maybe you're doing that social stuff more than just dungeons. You kind of wish there was a bit more of that. Here, there is still a campsite and you can talk to people and slow down a bit. But there is a lot more combat and action and important story beats here. The pacing is pretty immaculate. It's about as good as you can get one. It's not quite Chrono Trigger, I think, is the all-star when it comes to pacing. In a JRPG, right? It just kind of just goes, and it keeps staying interesting. It keeps showing you new things. I really like that this game has meaty dungeons. When you get to a dungeon, you're gonna maybe be there for an hour or so, and you are exploring and you're fighting. And there might be little story segments here or there, but no, it's just you get to play the game for a good while, and the combat is so fun that you're happy about that.
I think Expedition 33 is kind of breaking. It's selling really well, but my normie friends are waxing poetically about it, and I never would have thought it'd be on their radar when
it broke through for sure.
Yeah, it broke through. My younger brother, I think the last turn-based RPG he beat was Eternal Sonata for some reason, Xbox 360. Just not really his genre.
Big Chopin fan, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But no, he's even further than me in this one now.
Not.
Yeah. That's funny.
Okay. All right. Last game before we head to break. I really need to see this game in action, Grubb.
Yeah, we'll make it happen this week.
I need you to deliver because apparently you've been playing a lot more Roadcraft.
Yeah, things finally kind of settled down for me a little bit. I also did get a new CPU for my computer, which helped because now games load, and they weren't there
nice.
for a second.
You put it in yourself?
Yeah, I've built some PCs before, Dan, yeah.
Jesus, that just seems so scary.
I had to go to Best Buy and get some thermal paste because I couldn't find mine. Yeah.
Is that like buying dynamite? That seems like it should be illegal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you
Thermal
have to
paste?
register.
Yeah, you have to call the cops first just to let
It's
them
like
know. If they're gonna
Sudafed,
arrest
get
you.
a
yeah.
license. Yeah.
Yeah, the house could explode, so just be ready. Yeah, I put that CPU in. That was nice. I actually went up a generation because I'm like, if I'm going to stick with this Intel, I might as well get the newer one. Maybe it's a little bit better, but I upgraded the BIOS on my motherboard, so hopefully this one doesn't just fry itself over time. Either way, played a lot more Roadcraft, and I actually ended up playing a lot on the Steam Deck as well. I kind of got the settings dialed in there, so it's running at like 45 to 60 frames per second. It's nice, whatever. I'm starting to like really learn how this game is different from Mud Runners and Snow Runners and kind of what it's trying to do. I'll say up front, I can't stop playing it. It's the process of here is a problem at this place. You need to get to that place to deal with the problem. And along the way, you might discover some other problems like, hey, this road it's a road, but it's kind of falling apart. Maybe you should just rebuild this one patch. And so I'm like, okay, great. I'm going to go get my light equipment moving truck. I'm going to throw the asphalt lane truck on the back of that. I'll drive it over there because it's so slow. It would take forever to drive it over there. So I'll just put it on the trunk. You know, I'll haul it, drop that down, go get the pavement smoother, go get the big thing that like moves rocks out of the way, but can also pave sand to make sure the sand is even. I'll go get all these tools, and I'll just find myself be like, this is just one patch on one road to accomplish something else, and I'm just in heaven, like figuring out all the little things I need to do in this process to make sure that now when I go to my home base and I need to get somewhere else, well, I can have a little bit of relief because I know that I've built up that road and it's going to work, which is especially important because there's also like this automated side of things where you can set up these paths for resources to go in other trucks that you don't control. And if there is a road that is particularly muddy, they'll get stuck. And so the game is really focused on you just fixing stuff up as opposed to like the very specifics of managing a single truck, which is kind of what Mud Runner and Snow Runner would do. So you would have a tank of gas and you would lose, fuel over time. And so you had to be like on top of that. So if a truck got too far away and it was going to run out of fuel, you're like, well, this sucks. I'm going to have to bring out another truck filled with fuel to put more fuel in this truck so it can get to its end. There's none of that in this game. Every truck has unlimited gasoline. And instead there's like fuel tokens you can use to teleport them to another kind of truck to like make it easier to accomplish what you're trying to do. These changes are I'm getting used to them, and I wasn't sure how I felt about them, but I'm at a point where I can't stop playing. So I'm like, I think this is a different flavor that I'm just as much a fan of, even if it's not exactly what I would have asked them for. Well, when it was like, so I like the managing the fuel. That's the kind of thing that is like, oh, I want to think about that. I want to find myself in situations where I made this worse for myself because I didn't plan ahead, and I want to deal with those consequences. There are other forms of that here, and mostly that has to do with like, oh, I drove that truck to the other side of the map. What can I do to like get it over here to actually do this? Do I buy a new truck? Do I go get it and take forever to get it over here? There's things like that. I have not played multiplayer yet. I'm very curious to see how that works because like 4 people working on one project at a time, you could just see how like you could divide things up very quickly, and everyone's like, no, you're just in charge of paving this road. Don't worry about anything else. I'll bring you all the materials. I'll go get the sand or whatever. And yeah, I could see that being a lot of fun. So really into my shit with this game. Very happy with how it's landing, even if it is a little bit different than I think what people were expecting.
As someone who's still never played any of these, which one do you think I would dive into if I was going to?
I think this one has like the most easy to understand goals, right? Because it is like you want to just rebuild a road. That's easier to understand than some of the like, oh, go get a terrain scanner and drop it off in this one location. Like, intrinsically, that's just not as interesting as what you're doing here. So
okay.
This and also this one might be a little bit easier because you aren't dealing with resources like fuel. It is like your truck just goes forever, which I think is what most people assumed happened when you get into a truck in a video game. It's just going to go. Who cares about gasoline? But yeah, that makes a difference with this one. I want to try it multiplayer. We'll see how it goes.
Oh yeah. All right, gang. That about does it for game talk. We're gonna take a quick bricky break, and we will be back with the news right after this. This is Jeff Grubb with the news. Jeff Grubb.
Hi. First news item here. A super chat from John Larson, who I believe is just another one of our members in a mask there. It says 2v2 Magic the Gathering is alive and well. The format is called Two-Headed Giant, where the players on each team act as one of the heads. I would like to see a two-headed giant match of Mike Minotti and Janet Choa versus whoever Kind of Funny wants to produce. That'd be a good time.
Sounds like a threat.
Yep.
Mike, get on my shoulders.
Oh, cool.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Maybe in
great.
a pool. I mean,
No, I can do it.
All right, here's the news. Nintendo Switch 2 consoles have been spotted at U.S. retailers ahead of launch. These pictures are everywhere. How's no one just taken one? Like, I mean, I'm not saying someone should. Nintendo will shoot you. I guess that's why people aren't doing it.
It could be done, I'm sure. I'm surprised.
took
I'm
one.
surprised they haven't. Yeah.
Do you think they'd like be bricked upon launch because it's before the date?
If you had a cartridge, I mean,
No.
you're not downloading games, but if you had a cartridge, it would work.
I
I'd
wonder,
be scared to turn it on. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, Reggie's got a fuse in there now.
Or
Go to
at
the
least-
middle of a field. There's no Wi-Fi.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, or at least connected to the internet.
Just get is a Faraday box?
Faraday cage. Yeah.
Faraday cage. Thank you. Yes. So go in there. A Switch 2 branded Faraday cage. Look, I guess all that matters here is these things are real. They're in stores, like in the back rooms right now. So seems like they are ready for launch. Like they're actually gonna have these things ready to go.
Was that a question though? Like, was
I
that
mean,
a,
no,
No,
it's
it's
just-
just, it feels real now.
It just feels real, and also like I think there might have been a question of like logistically, are they going to be able to get out the 1.5 million that they want to have
Got
in
it.
week
Okay.
one? It seems like it's leaning in that direction. Like they're actually going to be able to meet this demand early on. Which
how many of us are going to have it with us in LA somehow?
Me.
yeah, I'll have
when
it
is
in
it
LA.
coming?
The 5th.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I fly out that day, so no, I'm fucked.
See, I'm flying out late on the 5th to make sure I get mine first.
No, I had to fly out early because Newark Airport is a hellscape.
Yeah, right.
But Grubb, you and I are earlier than that. How are you? Are you getting it sent to LA?
Yeah, it's going to be at Nikki's house. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, like my plan is kind of like, look, we're doing a lot of stuff. We got GB at night. We have all this stuff. My plan is to kind of badger you guys to like make a bunch of Switch 2 stuff whenever we have free time. I'm like, we should
I'm
just like
fine with that.
play some Mario Kart and do some like, let's take some time here and like record something real fast.
I'll play Soul Calibur 2 against Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait. Seriously, I'm so excited for that.
I didn't place a pre-order, but I know that we have an insane amount of things to do once we get on the ground in LA. But I kind of want to try and roll up to a store and get one.
Yeah.
I was
you'll be
thinking that
able
too.
to,
Like
man.
you do, like, well, could we do the midnight release thing? Like I used to do that for like every console.
I am
Like,
going to a midnight release at Best Buy anyways, because my brother's picking his up there, and I just like pre-ordered a case there. But like they are apparently gonna have some to sell, and I might like just get one there if I can, and then there's somebody who will buy my Walmart one that's coming in the mail.
Although I thinking about it, like I remember not midnight releases as much as like I remember PS2 sleeping outside of a Best Buy, 360 Best Buy, and it's like it's an overnight thing, and then it's like 6, 7 in the morning or whenever they open. That's when they did it. Like,
Oh, right, yeah,
Do they
for
do
sure.
like what is the option if you want to do it in person like that now?
It's
Is it
midnight now. No, it's
Yeah?
midnight. Yeah, but it's there's
Yeah.
fewer options than the heyday of midnight releases. But yes, they would be like you. Some people maybe will sleep over there, but no, you're not gonna have to do that because you're gonna have a pre-order, and then there's gonna be a handful in the store. So yeah, people will line up and it'll open at midnight. They'll have like refreshments and stuff like that, and then you go into the GameStop or Best Buy. Those are the two places doing it. Maybe Target's doing it as well. I can't remember.
I have fond memories of that. I really do.
Yeah,
It's just like it's a
fine.
long wait. You're uncomfortable. I remember the PS2 one was in the rain for me, but it was just like everyone's just so excited. Everyone's talking about what games they're gonna get. Like people are tossing footballs around and drinking beer, and it's great.
I know, and I bet everybody will have their Switch ones to play
Yeah, oh, yeah.
stuff. So
Yeah,
We should just do a tailgate.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
tailgating.
I'd be game for it. Yeah,
I would like that.
Big Philly style.
big
Philly
Philly style. Yeah.
As the Phillies say.
Switch 2 is going to be fun to play because apparently a lot of the Switch 2 games are just going to work as you hope they would. There have been no issues reported so far, according to a lot of testing that Nintendo's done. Nintendo reports most Switch games have no issues on the upcoming Switch 2, while some games have startup or in-game compatibility problems requiring fixes. The majority of the 15,000 third-party games titles that have been tested show no issues at all. I think, that's the baseline. That's people are hoping for, but this is going to be mostly emulation. I think they said something about a hybrid solution, but it's emulation really. And that always introduces the possibility for some things just not to work that you're not expecting. Sounds like that's going to be a minimal problem here this time around, which, that it's important. I want all my Switch games to work, but there was a time there where I was definitely hoping Switch 1 games would actually just all run better out of the box. And that could still happen, but I'm less hopeful for that now.
I feel like the only time I've ever really noticed that, because like, like there's the PS4 game boost. There's, you've seen toggles like that. I've never really noticed it, except for with the Xbox backwards compatibility stuff, like playing like Max Payne, Mercenaries, things where it's like the load times were totally removed. Yeah, and it just runs great, 60 frames a second. Red Dead, I think ran really well that way.
But that was like, they would do like extra work on some of those things, like, Mirror's Edge ran at a better frame rate than it ever did on original Xbox 360.
Right.
I did that OEM or the OD, the optical disc drive emulator thing on the GameCube. And so it's loading games from an SD card now. Would that load games faster? Because it's some games that I thought had like longer loading times are like loading almost instantly, and it's freaking me out.
You would imagine, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah, I'm like, I wonder if that was CPU bottlenecked or whatever, but I'm going to do some tests. I'll see what I can find out. All right, some other Nintendo news. Nintendo appears to have blocked the recording of videos on its Nintendo Today app. This is very strange. Nintendo has seemingly blocked video recording. Basically, it has implemented DRM so that when you try to record a video natively using, whatever app it is on the iOS or just the built-in functionality on Android, it just gives you back a black screen, I think, and nothing gets recorded, which some apps can do, right? That's a security functionality. Nintendo's news announcements probably don't have those same security concerns. Yeah. This is like Nintendo just being weird.
Yeah, it's like if Netflix does it, sure, I get it, but Nintendo not so much.
Using that app.
I mean, I think Nintendo believes that they can get more people to use it if they don't let the news escape through other channels. I don't know.
Oh, gross.
God bless them.
Yep. It's really bizarre, but do any of you have the Nintendo Today app installed on your devices?
No.
Negative.
I have it installed, but I don't use it.
Yeah, I think I've installed, but I've not checked it in a few weeks. All right, the next Nintendo Direct will reportedly drop around Switch 2's launch. A Nintendo Direct live stream is rumored to be held around the launch of Nintendo Switch 2 on June 5th, according to journalist Pedro Henrique Luti Lipe. Historically, Nintendo has held directs in June, often focusing on upcoming games. So people are getting their hopes up for it. Anyhow, we've talked about the possibility of a direct a couple times, but now as we are on the precipice of the launch, do you guys think it's likely? It would be weird. What do you think about a direct the week of the Switch 2's launch?
There's still some games that they definitely need to show more of. Show a bit more Donkey Kong, show more Kirby Air Ride, Pokemon ZA. We don't have a release date for Metroid Prime 4, so
maybe some new GameCube stuff.
What's that?
Maybe new GameCube stuff.
Like one other game, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could hope maybe we do actually get just Metroid Prime 2 and 3 remaster, maybe even NSO stuff like Donkey Kong 64. I think we all expect that to happen around the time of Bonanza. People are like, oh, maybe there's like one more game for this year. We could see what that looks like. And there's the other Hyrule Warriors, right? Muso thing. There's plenty of things to talk about here. Honestly, for me, the big thing is we got to get that Metroid Prime 4 release date, please.
Yep. I don't know if it'll happen like, the week of June 5th, but I expect something to happen in June with the Direct.
I would hope not that same weekend of SGF because there's a lot of things going down.
Yep. Yeah.
Sure.
I guess it'd be like the week after SGF, but we're all still going to be traveling. There's still going to be a ton of stuff. It would be in the wake of a lot of other work. So that'd be annoying. But yeah, I think sometime in June they probably do something. I'm looking forward to see what they have.
Fire Emblem remake that we've been thinking is real forever and it's basically been done forever. At some point, they're gonna have to announce that.
Yep, exactly. They have lots of things they could still talk about, like always. So we'll see. I think that, man, people do keep going back to getting Mario this holiday.
No, I don't know where that's coming from.
What does that mean? Come on.
There's a lot of people out like cover video game news that when they talk about this, they go to thinking, well, there's also a Mario game coming in addition to this Donkey Kong Bonanza, and it could come as soon as this holiday.
Well, I trust only 4 people's opinion, and 3 of them are you, Grubb. So,
I think that'd be crazy. I think that'd be.
I think that's next holiday.
Yes,
if that even.
Right. Like initially when we saw Donkey Kong Bonanza, I'm like, that's what they've been working on. That's the Mario team. Nothing else. And now, there's some thinking that some of the support studios could have helped a lot on either this game or on the Mario 3D game, because the support studios did help out a lot with Odyssey and then with Bowser's Fury. So yeah, maybe next holiday, but I don't think this holiday. That would be nuts, especially like if you have a Mario game and you're announcing a system. and it's coming out within the 6 months of that system's release, you just say that because Mario is that big, and they didn't. So
Yeah.
Everybody just, I don't know. Everybody's like, there has to be a big holiday game for the Switch too, and like they, in their minds, Pokemon Legends ZA doesn't count, but it counts.
Metroid would count.
Well, both of those things are coming. So regardless of what you think counts, you're gonna get one of those. So I think they have another game. I don't know if it's a big game for this holiday. We'll see. All right, let's shift over to some PlayStation news. This is interesting. While everyone else is raising prices, Sony confirms it's going to actually discount the PS5 this week. Yes, let's see here. This is for accessories and software, and it is starting this week. Sony is offering discounts on PlayStation 5 hardware and software, including $50 off the PS5 Pro in the United States from May 28th to June 11th during its Days of Play campaign. A Call of Duty Black Ops 6 bundle will also be available, offering savings compared to buying the console and game separately. Discounts will extend to other PS5 models, VR2, controllers, earbuds, and first-party games. Man, I didn't even know they still sold the PSVR 2. While prices recently increased in Europe, Australia, and New Zealand, the US has avoided similar increases, although the Slim Digital Edition launched at a higher price. What do you think is happening here? I mean, obviously, they always discount it for Days of Play, so it's part of that. But I'm definitely operating under the assumption that they are still going to raise the price of the PS5 in the United States because they have not done that since they did it everywhere else. And then since then, Microsoft has raised the price. The Switch 2 got announced with a high enough price that you could justify a price increase for the PS5. Is this like one last party before that happens, or what?
It's maybe unrelated, but I don't know, Jeff. Maybe I'm crazy. I still just don't think they're gonna raise the price. I think they're gonna continue to bite the bullet. You know, they've been afraid to do it here because they know Americans get so upset. I mean, and I know Xbox raised the price. I bet if we could look at the sales data, that is going not great for them.
I bet you're right. Yes, absolutely. And maybe they don't care about selling consoles as much anymore, but Sony definitely does. So they don't want to throw any wrench into that works. Yeah, well, I bet they're keeping price increases on the table if they're not immediately planning them. And then, so I guess other than that, it's business as usual, and that would mean a discounted PS5 through the Days of Play. Who here has a PS5 Pro? Dan, I know you have one. Did anyone else? I don't.
It's weird to me that I don't, because I used to always just get these things.
Yeah, but I mean, like you've gotten the sentiment anecdotally even that like it's maybe not the thing you think it is.
We're not rushing out to get it. Like that's the difference there. Yeah, I get that. It's a lot of money.
Right. It's funny because like what difference is $100 at a certain point? But it's like it's actually a big difference, especially in my head. Of just like if the thing had come out at the price that the PlayStation 5 was at launch, I could almost swallow that pill. But the fact that it's more expensive than the PS5 ever was, it's like no. And like how many years I really think this thing has? Maybe more than I'd like to admit. But even that just kind of makes me more depressed when I think about that.
It's just different than the PS4 Pro. It's just like a totally different insertion point in the life cycle, and
yeah, the necessity is completely different.
Right, and
like
they had
the
a
day
story.
one tangibility of like a perceived improvement, and just
you bought a
just
4K TV, take advantage of that with PS4 Pro.
It was just like a one-to-one, like easy sell, and the cost wasn't pornographic the way it is now. And
they were releasing more PS4 games. They just were, right? So it's
the
like
future was sort of like brighter,
right.
Maybe.
Meanwhile, we're all like, when is Sony couldn't even talk to us at all about its games? We just don't know very much about them right now.
We'll talk about that here in a second. $650 for PS5 Pro. I think had that discount happened quickly, like after the PS5 Pro got announced or came out, that might have moved me. But now at this point of getting used to not having it, I'm like, nah, that's still too much.
They should have bundled it with like a year of premium or something. Like they should have like made it more, you know. Attractive of a purchase, and it just looks like this huge number. Or
should have made it look cool. It just looks boring.
Now wait a second.
It's got ridges.
That's one thing we'll disagree on. I like the aesthetics of the whole PlayStation 5 family. I like its
really
Wall-E, Eve aesthetic. I think it's cool.
I'm fine with like the base PS5 looking like Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh, but like the Pro, I don't know, look cooler.
Sure.
Get more swagged out or something.
Yeah.
Make something that's possible to like put in a bag and travel with or something. It's just way too clunky.
That's not.
I mean, you're just come on. Like
look like a PS2, and then
there's one portable console, and that was the GameCube. It had a handle.
Oh, did have a handle.
Yeah.
Sony's next PlayStation State of Play will reportedly be coming in June. Sony is likely holding a State of Play presentation in June because instead of a larger showcase. This comes from me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, who reported that?
Yeah, I talked about this on in a couple places. We did on Game S Mornings, I think. And yeah, so for people that are always wondering about the distinction there, State of Play versus a showcase, PlayStation has done stuff called showcases in the past, and these are like their big E3 equivalent like productions where they have tons of massive first party announcements and things like that, or that's the idea at least. That's the kind of place where they could show off a PS5 when it was getting announced and a PlayStation showcase. State of Plays are more like directs, but and then sometimes they could be even less than that. Or like sometimes they could just be like a partner direct and Nintendo partner direct. So the thinking here is like, hey, they're going to do a State of Play. Is this not going to be exciting? I still think there's plenty chance that we see very cool announcements from Sony itself inside of a State of Play. But I don't know, what are your all's expectation level for big announcements from Sony at this point if they come out with a State of Play in June?
They gotta just talk to us about some things, right? Obviously we're gonna see more Ghosts of Yotai, excuse me. Wolverine we have not heard much about since basically the leaks, right?
Right.
So,
I gotta.
what's going on over there? I don't know if we're gonna see too much more of Intergalactic for a while, right?
We have to see more of Marathon, right? I would assume that.
Well, unless it gets delayed.
Yeah, unless it gets delayed. Marathon and Fair Games. Who knows what's going on with those two games right now? Maybe nothing good. Ugh. But that's the thing. It's like we're kind of sentiment is kind of like negative. So maybe show us some stuff that looks cool and interesting. Maybe do talk about some new things that maybe they are a bit off, but it's exciting. You're bringing back some franchises that we care about.
They'll do that Hell Is Us game again. I feel like.
Yeah,
that's like their favorite. Like
they have a pet partner game.
Yeah,
that
because
they keep
it presents
to the side all the time. Yeah,
it presents really well. Like every time they show that game off, everyone's like, "What the fuck is this?" Well, maybe it's just me, but
you definitely do that. Though,
I pop hard for it. I don't like that phrase, but like I think like it'll. I mean that game's like September, right? Like there is stuff this year.
Yeah, it's September.
When is Saros out?
I don't know, but we haven't seen gameplay of that, have we? Like that's one I'm very.
You're right.
I just fucking love Returnal, and I would love to see what the hell Saros is all about.
Yeah,
that's a ways out, right?
Initial release date. This looks like a placeholder, so yeah, it must be 2026 because it says December 31st, 2026.
What
so
do you think is the possibility of seeing anything Last of Us related?
Oh God.
They're gonna remake 2 again or whatever.
Yeah, but like nothing. I mean, come on. Intergalactic is the.
Has everything Last of Us been like fully remade at this point and re-released and packaged up? Because they did.
I think there's nothing else they could possibly justify remastering again at this point.
I think there's a chance that the other project that Druckmann referenced like a couple weeks ago, maybe that pops up, and I think that's an Uncharted game, but maybe not. We'll see.
I mean, I'd be excited.
I just checked my embargo information, and I can say that I played Hell Is Us, and we'll be able to talk about it this week. So,
okay, great.
Yes, very soon, and I got an article about that at the old place.
All right, cool. Let's see here. Next news story. I'm going to get back over to my headlines. Star Wars Battlefront 2 devs want to get the band back together, is how they phrased it.
Wolfpack?
They want to get the Wolfpack. That's who made Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2.
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's right. Perry Saturn was lead developer.
Saturn wasn't in the Wolfpack.
I didn't watch WCW.
That was the Radicals.
Either way, Battlefront 2's popularity is the highest it's ever been on Steam. It has the most concurrent players it's ever had on Steam. Now, it launched on Steam long after it came out on the EA store, whatever that's called, Origin. And so it never had the highest concurrent player numbers on there. It was like 9,000 or something. It's surpassed that now. And people are crediting that to Andor and maybe that Revenge of the Sith hitting in theaters recently. Whatever the reason is, people are getting excited about the possibility of EA and DICE going back to Battlefront with a Battlefront 3. EA's never said anything about this, but this one developer did say that the team that worked on it talks about it, and there's a sense that they want to get the band back together. They would like to do this. I I don't know how likely that is. They got to get Battlefield correct first, right? This next Battlefield game seems super important, and then maybe one day they could talk about a Battlefront again.
We're talking about the 2017 joint, right?
2017 Battlefront 2. Yes, that's right.
Oh,
That's weird.
That's the one with the really good gameplay, but the really bad loot box situation.
Yeah, that game actually has kind of a lot going for it. It was very heavy, so that was a problem. And of course, it had terrible loot boxes, which, and as bad as they were, it got amplified times 10 on the internet, right? Like, it was a whole thing. But man, when that game was going, that game was fun. That game looked really good.
It still looks as good as the game needs to look. It
awesome. Looks as good as a game needs to look. That planet on the Camino, that water level, is still just kind of amazing with the rain falling and the outside sections. So, like, I would love if they made another one and you kind of just take the good and leave behind the bad and just really have fun with it. But you're probably right, Jeff, that they are worried more about Battlefield right now, even though, frankly, I'd be more excited for Battlefront 3.
I would, too. I did, like, this is for Game Mess Mornings tomorrow, but like, I looked at the poll I ran from last week. It's like, hey, do you want another Battlefront game? And, like, half of the people are like, no. So for as much as the excitement is building around this game, and Star Wars fans are like convincing themselves that like there is a popular wave of support for it, and there is, I don't think it's to the point where this is penetrating the mainstream so that EA can justify it to itself spending years and years making a new one of these. First of all, by the time they do that, a million things could go wrong with Star Wars again, and it wouldn't be worth it. And then second, you know, the hardcore Star Wars fans saying they want something does not translate to the mass audience saying they want something anymore.
I mean, unfortunately, the time to do it kind of was when they did Battlefront 2, when right after that Force Awakens was the biggest movie ever kind of thing, right? And, you know, Star Wars hasn't really been in as good shape as that for a long time. So kind of good luck doing it now.
Yep. This is EA. They're doing Skate 4 because of a, social media thing. But I don't think that's like going to be a trend for them. I don't think they're going to glom onto every single one of these. All right, couple more stories here. Ex Machina director Alex Garland is going to helm the Elden Ring movie for A24. It's going to be live action. It's going to have writers. People are going to write this movie. They're going to work with George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, Railroad Martin's getting on this.
George Railroad Martin is going to be on the poster. I guarantee that his name will be very big on there. How involved he is. Like, look, he already wrote a bunch of lore. Maybe they can email him and ask him some questions. I don't know. But I think this is a pretty good fit. I brought up on Game S Mornings when I reported the story originally that the Green Knight is like a very good model for what I think an Elden Ring movie should look like. And if they could just kind of do that again with this, I'd be happy.
But the Green Knight has like one freak. The Green Knight.
Yeah,
sure. It's
Barry Kogan is in that movie. He's the other freak in that movie.
He counts as like 50 freaks. Yeah.
What is Green Knight's gimmick?
Like a tree person.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the Seth Rogen thing?
Green Hornet?
Green Hornet.
Yeah, completely different.
You think I was talking about Green Hornet?
And the ring guy with the
That's
ring.
the Green Lantern.
The one that Hurricane Helms likes?
Yeah, that's Green Lantern.
Okay.
So
they should
weird.
really come up with different names for stuff.
Or just have this conversation in your head and don't bring it to the podcast.
Green Knight is a different name than those other things you said. That's the cute thing here. It is different.
Right.
Yeah.
And you see the confusion.
No. The green. I only see green.
Wow.
Man.
Cash rules everything around turf.
Anyways, I don't want me to be a funny Teddy Jeff, but I don't see this working. Like you would need to, in my mind. Have you played Elden Ring? Have you seen what's happening in that game?
Yeah.
How everybody looks, how that world looks. I think you need Avatar money to make that shit work.
I think that was right 20 years ago. I don't think that's right.
I think make it look good. I think that's right.
I think it would be better served as like a series versus a movie.
Sure.
Yeah. Problem number 2. Like story in Elden Ring, it's mostly lore. It's mostly lore.
You can do a movie that way where it's movie based on vibes. That's fine.
Oh, like Drive. We're gonna get a Drive. Your vibe
Didn't
movies.
like Drive. I love
Drive's
Drive.
good. Drive's good.
I hate Drive.
Oh, Drive
actually,
was-
kind of with a bit of a passion.
Oh my
Ooh,
God, Drive
go
was
on.
awesome.
Let's unpack
You don't like
this.
Rygaz, do you? Huh?
No.
What don't you like about it?
It's a stupid, cynical movie where they play something with like a low bass and everybody's like, it's vibes now because there's a neon light and bass. And then they like curb stomp somebody's head and it's gross. Everyone's like, this movie's brutal in a way that makes me feel alive.
He's just
'cause I'm
upset that there's not enough
desensitized
dog
to the
murder in there.
world.
Then he'd be
And,
all over
Yeah.
it.
it's
Anna
weird that I
Kendrick's
have
singing about
depression
something.
because all the stuff I watch is so uplifting. That's bullshit.
I think
mean,
Drive's all right. I don't really.
Yeah,
hold it high
Drive's
regard.
fun. I guess
has
I
a-
understand a little bit of what you're saying, but you're being a fuddy-duddy.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. I can't. Speaking of fuddy duddy, here's my turn. I can't think of a single video game franchise I would care about as a TV show or a movie.
Yeah,
And
I,
they've done it with
that- I
they've done
I
it with Twisted
disagree.
Metal. I don't care. They if
just
they said
picking-
I would see a Metal Gear movie.
BioShock.
I saw the Mario movie. I thought it was
You
well
don't think
done.
Bioshock would be a good movie?
I wouldn't.
just
I
wouldn't-
wouldn't care.
I mean,
I wouldn't
Bioshock.
care.
I
Yeah.
bet
I
this
think
is
it
going to
would
be the next Bioshock, and that we've been talking about how it's going to be a movie
Yeah.
for 20 years,
Yeah,
and it
I
doesn't
mean,
happen.
But
That's
let's be clear.
fair.
I think that's the most likely scenario is this movie never gets made. Of course,
Yeah.
yes. But I think like a realistic way of doing it, I think, is the Green Knight route, where it's like you focus on a few freaks and you go make it happen. But it's probably not going to. All right.
I mean-
yeah. Go ahead, please.
I
Joe.
was just, I mean, like they did do a really good job with Last of Us. Like that is.
Did they? I thought everyone hates it.
No,
Everyone
that's
hates,
just people
like,
online.
People seem less enthused about the second season, but I don't think that means it's a terrible show or anything like that. And the
they
first
did it
season was very high regarded.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
there's just a lot of actual people in Last of Us, and then like fungal people, whatever. It's easier.
I think to make the blanket statement that there isn't any video game worth adapting is
No, I'm not
That's not
saying
what he
I'm saying
said.
that I would be
that
interested.
you. But that doesn't really mean. A lot to a lot of
I
people.
haven't. I'm
So
trying
wait.
to think if there's anything that I would like actually be super excited for. Where I have
I would
to
like.
see it.
I think I would watch like an Alan Wake series. I'd watch
Dan,
an
you
Alan
don't
Wake
you don't
series.
care about like that Kojima heavily involved Death Stranding movie?
I mean, I'll see it out of curiosity. Same as if there was a Metal Gear movie they've talked about for 20 fucking years or whatever. Like, I'd see it, but like, I don't know. Death Stranding is a pretty cinematic game.
Yeah.
Metal Gear Solid, extremely but like the stuff I love is the way it interacts with the game, medium. And I don't necessarily need
I
to see a
agree with
boiled
you.
down 2-hour version
Yeah.
of the story that was delivered quite well in video games.
So I'm with you for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a wave of obviously video game movies and shows announced recently, and I am at a point where it's like, oh, even if that comes out, I'm not watching them.
First and foremost, me is Zelda. I mean, Zelda is one of my favorite franchises of all time. I could not give less of a shit about what
I would
that
have,
movie's
I would
about.
have,
think-
that would I'd have to see it.
I think that one's
You
gonna
would
have-
watch it.
I'll
Yeah,
see
of course.
it, but like
And you
I'm
might
not
like
like
it.
gonna go in like super excited. Like I'll see it.
I
Sure,
get
we'll
it.
talk about it. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's gonna have a similar problem as an Elden Ring. I think when like we see what that looks like, a lot of people are gonna be kind of weirded out. Like, I guess that's what it looks like when we have budgets and green screens and kind of special effects instead of just everything's a video game in uniform.
I'd like to be pleasantly surprised.
Sure.
I think you get the Jim Henson Company to work on the Elden Ring movie, and you are halfway toward
The
getting-
Rascal people.
Yeah, the Rascal people.
I've never heard my dad mention Jim Henson ever, and just today he texted me about Jim Henson. He did a joke. You ready, Mike? I'm gonna
Yes.
be my dad. Okay.
Okay,
all right.
all
This
right.
is probably going to be really insensitive, but go on.
No. Did you know that Jim Henson was a micromanager?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a hand in everything.
That's funny because they're puppets.
Did your dad like read the back of a Snapple cap? Like what happened?
Bazooka Joe. Yeah.
All right, last story here. This one got appended by, I believe, Mike Minotti. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake arrives on October 30th, just in time for Halloween. And it's coming to Switch 2, also releasing on Switch 1, Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. Switch 2 version is a game keycard version, although Switch 1 version appears to have the whole game on the card. That's weird. All right, hey, cool. That's fun. We've been waiting for this.
Yeah, I haven't. We got the 3 remake about that time last year, and we were kind of wondering when this one would drop. I liked it a lot. I thought it was very pretty. Perhaps my favorite of the HD 2D remakes. If not that, then the Live Alive was very
Yeah.
good as well. But and I liked Dragon Quest 3 a lot, but I actually had played that one before. I have not played 1 and 2, so this will be my first time getting to experience those. And also, like, if the order seems weird here, chronologically, the story does go 3, 1, and 2. So you are playing them in order, actually, if you started with 3.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So I think it's neat. The game card stuff has become a bit of a talking point because even though it is that game key card for Switch 2, so the game's not actually on there, it looks like the game is actually just on the Switch 1 game card. So, it's, something funky has been going on there with the way Nintendo has been selling these cards to people.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that does it for the... Oh, wait. Yep. No, please. Another headline breaking from Jerf.
No, it's not a headline. It's just I want to put a footnote on the previous movie adaptation.
I thought you had something to say about Dragon Quest.
No, I don't. I think I said this somewhere. I'm sure I did at one point, and I think Dan, you were really on board. I can't remember, but so maybe think about the reverse, right? Where there's not like a franchise that you want to see made into a movie, but is there a movie that you would want to be made into a video game?
The Rock.
Well, here, okay. What if you could play every scene of The Rock in a video game?
Well, you already have the shower room and the gulag in Modern Warfare 2. And basically, the underwater infiltration is just Metal Gear Solid 1.
The video game is called The Rock. And you play as Stanley
Connery's dead.
Goodspeed.
Connery died.
What's his name?
Stanley
How will we
Goodspeed.
ever find anybody who could do that voice?
Here you go. Okay,
I do want to play
I'm
John
hired.
Mason, not a Stanley Goodspeed. Yes.
You play both. Of course you do. You play as both of them.
Oh, you do like a defuse the rocket minigame or something?
Exactly. And
Yeah, okay.
would you not play every second of The Rock, the video game?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I want Die Hard. I want The Rock.
They made Die Hard. Die Hard Trilogy's good.
No.
Die Hard
wanna
Trilogy's a good game.
I want to play it in the way that like the Indiana Jones game was a movie,
like a
right?
new
Okay, I
one.
see.
Like that's what I want.
Machine
right?
games, Die
Where,
Hard.
like-
Well, we also had Die Hard Arcade, which is very good.
But
Die Hard Vendetta?
I am aware that the IP has been used before in video games. That is
Die
not
Hard
what I'm
2, Viva Las
discussing.
Vegas? Die Hard Trilogy 2?
I'm talking about a
Hard
way.
Man was in Death Stranding.
You understand what I'm putting out there, right? You understand what this could be, right? Every scene of the movie you play, aside from like all the bullshit, right? You don't care about.
The Rock doesn't have that. It's no
There's
fat
some-
on that.
There's
no
a
fat.
little bit of fat.
There's the Beatles Super Freak and the Sex
I
on
mean,
the Roof.
do you want to
and-
play
Yeah.
Buscemi with the Tea
Sex
Party?
Mini
That's
games.
Con Air.
Oh, right.
What
right,
are you
right.
talking about?
Yeah. All of a sudden, I
Hallucinate.
conflated The Rock and
The
Con
Rock is
Air.
much better than Con Air.
It
Con Air
is
is fine.
empirically.
Con Air's great.
Yes. No
I like
argument
Con
here.
Air.
I don't know why all of
I
a
love
sudden.
Con Air.
You know
I
why?
watch it
Because
every
that
time
was
it's on
that
TV.
was the plane scene, and for whatever reason, I conflated the.
You can only have one plane in your head at a time. Yeah.
Exactly. There's
yeah.
only room for one.
Air Force
plane.
One.
yeah,
Air
there's
Force
only-
One would be oh man, Harrison. Speaking of just get they already got the Harrison
Air
Ford
Force
model.
One would be an excellent video. It
Excellent
basically is a
video
video
game.
game.
Troy
That's what
Baker
I'm
with the
saying.
Get Off My Plane would be
Yeah.
awesome.
So why aren't we like we're going only one way? Why are we not going the
Video
other
games
way?
are good.
Yeah, video games are. But I love movies too.
But
Well,
I
'cause
want to
here-
put.
the real reason this is happening is because movies are desperate for anything that's
Yeah.
like succeeded somewhere else.
Of course.
So they just grab it, and video games are like, that doesn't work for us. Like
Okay,
whenever we try that, it doesn't work.
Because like video games can basically do all the things that movies can do. Movies can't do the things video games can do.
Yeah,
Right.
the movie based on Roadcraft would suck. That'd be bad.
Sure.
You say
I
that
want a
now,
video
Grubb,
game-
but you'd watch it.
I'd
Video
watch
game
it.
based on Rehearsal Season 2.
Oh my god.
Have you finished it, Jan?
No, I took the test that's in the like.
Oh,
the last
okay.
episode.
What did you find? Because I wanted to take the test. I couldn't find it.
I just
online.
searched
the
for it for the same name as the eyes.
Can I take
something-
the test right now?
Sure.
No, we don't have enough time. It takes a while.
They did. There's like 36. I took it. Yeah.
Wait, isn't it like it's supposed to take you like 2 to 3 minutes, right? Because that's the whole
They
thing.
said if you're not autistic, it should take 3 to 5 minutes. If you're autistic, it takes longer. Is what it
I
said.
said I
What?
could do it pretty fast. I don't
What
think
is
I'm
this?
autistic.
You know, I
It's
don't
like the
wanna
mind
know.
the eyes test or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil the finale because it's fucking nuts what happens. But
Yeah, well.
holy shit! I don't. None of you have seen
Could
what
you
happens. in the
spoil
finale?
it? Like my understanding is it's so
No.
insane.
Yes, you can
No.
spoil it easily.
Okay.
I could tell you. Grubb, I'm just going to type it to you in Discord.
Yeah, sure,
okay?
please. Because yeah.
Don't
Oh my
make
God,
me
Snape killed Dumbledore.
shut the fuck up. No,
That's a good reference.
fuck
That's
Harry
funny.
Potter.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, gang. Grubb, is that it with the news?
Yeah, I'm done with the news. I handed the show back over to you.
Okay. Well, Jeff Backler hijacked it for a second.
My bad.
And we're gonna
He
fade.
tried to make a point, and I came in and shut it down. Sorry, Becca.
We're gonna go take a quick breaky break, and we will be back with
Grubb, react
What?
before we go.
Grubb, don't you
What?
read any of that out loud.
Oh my God! What?
He shot a dog too.
I gotta watch this shit. Oh my
insane.
God!
All right, fade into black. These are the emails for the show. Emails. Bombcast at giantbomb.com is the email address to send your emails to. You can write in about any and everything, and I will look at it and decide whether or not it's worth it to show on the show. And sometimes, hey, a little too weird. Other times, thank you so much for the support. We love you. First email of the show comes from Jeff from London. Yo, this one's for Grubb, but I fuck with you all. Roadworks Grubb was talking about cool vehicles and how fun they are to work with. I drive boats. I'm a navigational officer and have worked on container ships and car carriers and platform supply vessels. For the last few years, I've worked on tugboats. Tugboats basically park bigger boats. In reality, it's us on the big boat and shoving them around on our small but powerful vessels. It's an incredible feeling using the power and utility of a vessel like that in what I can imagine is the same sentiment for people that do it on land, like in Roadcraft. Congrats on independence. Love you all. Jeff from London.
And
Jeff.
tugboats are weird, right? Like, how does that little thing tug around that big boat? That's nuts.
I think just boats are weird.
Sure.
How are they staying above the water?
Right. well,
Yeah,
they-
no one knows.
That's true.
How do you think they stay above the water, Dan?
Air is involved.
Would it help you if I explain that it's the water that keeps the boat from sinking?
It's because it's like when you breathe in when you're underwater and you got air in your lungs and it makes you float up. It's like there's pockets of air in the boat.
I mean, sure, but like the water's pushing against the boat, and the way the boat is shaped, it like the bigger it is and the broader it is, there's more pressure pushing the boat up and keeping it floating. As long as the water doesn't get on the other side of
it's
that
like
wall.
air in planes, and it's like how it's the wings are cutting through the air.
It's not lift and drag.
It's all
not-
pressure and lift
You know,
and drag.
Grubb, sometimes you have like a mile before you're going to get into the accident, and that's what you're looking at in front of you right now.
I think this one is complicated enough that I don't blame Dan.
Yeah,
for
thank
not-
you. Oh, weird. I don't know how to build a boat.
This is not about Dan. This is about Grubb.
Yeah. I was just curious what Dan would say about it, and then Dan, he didn't know, and you're right. That's not surprising. And
Right.
Backlar's right that I should cut it off now instead of trying to
You're
explain.
like, I bet if I keep going 60 miles an hour, I'll hit that car a mile ahead of me. And you're like, might as well floor it.
Yep.
Speaking about cutting it off, next email comes from Owen in Minnesota. Hey, Bombcast folk. Welcome and congrats on independence. Jan mentioned a bit ago that crop tops should be a thing that is added to the store, which can be difficult. I run a merch store as well. But I have an elegant solution for a quick mock-up design even. Behold, the greatest worst idea ever. Official Giant Bomb DIY crop tops. And now I will show the image on screen.
Oh, I get it.
Owen here has included a dotted line across where the tummy would be.
Yeah,
Where you would
Got it.
That's
cut it.
great.
Oh.
That's clever.
DIY
Yeah.
top.
Okay.
Great.
And then you can take the rest of the shirt and perhaps fashion like a headband or something.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's tough to source out crop tops, turns out.
Really?
I mean,
Yeah.
the partner we work with does not, I don't believe, offer that out of the gate. You'd have to self-source
I
that.
have heard requests. Yes.
I think this is a great worker. I think it makes it fun too.
Yeah. I like it.
we could also see how good people are at cutting things.
Yeah.
You
They
know?
should come like pre-cut, like perforated, right? Where you're just sort of like you tear off the tag yourself. That'd be neat.
Bend it and then just
Just put it. You wash it once, and the bottom falls off. That's how it works.
there we go. There we go. All right. Next email comes from Ross from Gig Harbor, soon to be Eau Claire. Sure. Oh no, actually, Alex and Bendigo first. Of all the things that confuse me about America, and there's a lot, even more so recently, it's that grape seems to be one of your standard flavors. For soda, jelly, candy, whatever. It doesn't seem like something you could explain to me. Why is this the case? So what's something about another country that puzzles you?
Wait, what?
Wait,
I mean,
no,
this is
Alex,
the least of
Alex.
our problems. Like,
You don't understand. Like, look, candy is you got grape, you got strawberry, you got green apple. You got it's just like all the different fruits translate very well to candy taste.
Yeah.
And grape is a fruit.
but to be clear, grape flavor tastes nothing like any grape I've ever.
I
care
like
about
grape
that.
flavor. I guess that's
Right.
what they're getting at. Is that it's like our blue raspberry flavor,
But
right?
They said grape jelly.
Okay,
Grape
that's why it tastes
jelly is like
grape,
shoot
right?
grapes.
No, it's not.
But it is made of shoot grapes.
But
So-
it doesn't taste like a grape. Does not
Right,
taste like grape.
I know,
jelly.
but like wine doesn't taste like
grape off the
grape
vine.
either. So it's
yeah,
like
I think you can make more of the argument.
Don't get my
but-
hearty in here.
But I do think there's a tangible difference. Also with like banana flavored candy, right? Like
Yeah.
banana
Sure, that shit
flavor is
Yeah.
different than grape flavor in how it's implemented in.
I agree with that.
Candy.
Isn't the thing though that like banana flavoring in candy is actually close to what bananas used to be like? I think I'd heard this.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe.
believe
Like
it.
shoot bananas used to taste like current candy banana, is my
I can see that.
understanding.
And
Then we
made
make them
bananas
sweeter
good.
and Sweeter
Yeah.
and sweeter.
I like them both.
God, I just imagine anytime Dan says shoot banana, I just imagine him pointing like bananas at me like they're guns.
Yeah, well, I heard that his banana guns can fire in
Fire in
spurts.
spurts.
Minotti,
yeah.
green apple, the flavor, yay, nay?
Wait, what are you?
Because green apple doesn't taste like apples.
And yet
like,
somehow still disgusting.
I'm just saying.
Mikey,
Maybe there's a loophole. I don't know.
Mikey, what if we roll up to a bar and we're all getting apple teenies with the bitches?
Yeah, with the Mitches.
Don't you want to be one of the bitches?
I'll take a
Girl?
scotch.
Girl.
Girl, I'll take a scotch.
I love green. I love the candy flavor green apple.
No.
Oh,
I think,
it's
I think
the
of like
best,
in terms
yes.
of color flavors, give me purple, number one, and then
Yeah,
blue
gr-
pretty good.
Grape flavor is more just purple flavor.
Have we
as far
done
as
this
I'm
where
concerned.
like I said a color and you guys told me what flavor you associate
No.
with
Oh, I
it?
don't-
No, but hit us.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, all right. Let's
Should be
let's-
obvious.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yellow.
Lemon.
Banana or lemon.
I
Banana
say
or
banana
lemon.
even though I like lemon way more, but banana comes to my
lemon.
mind first.
Okay, red.
Sure.
Apple.
I go
Apple.
strawberry.
Oh, strawberry.
I think a pink for strawberry because Starburst style.
God
is
That-
pink.
damn it, I
fair.
agree with
Yeah.
Mike.
It's cherry.
Oh,
Red is
damn,
cherry because
yeah.
apple is green a lot of the time.
Yes.
It's
So
green
yeah, then green.
That's
Watermelon.
apple. Green apple.
cherry.
Oh yeah, green. I'm thinking with
Oh, green.
lime.
Green
Yeah,
is lime,
for me.
hopefully. And it was bullshit when they changed the lime Skittles for the apple one.
No, it was way better with green
Worst
apple.
day of my life.
No,
Weren't
way better with
green-
green apple.
Green warheads were watermelon, right?
Yeah, sometimes they're watermelon.
I like it when candy would do the green and red for watermelon.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Hubba Bubba would do that. Yeah.
Laffy Taffy.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Bubba, bubba.
All right, last one. I think it's the hardest. Blue.
Blue raspberry.
Yeah.
Blue raspberry. Yeah.
I guess.
Or,
yeah,
yeah,
man.
or blueberry, but yeah.
Or Powerade.
Oh yeah.
Sure,
What
right,
is it with
just-
the blue Powerade? Is the standard? I guess like McDonald's had it. My dorm had it. Like that's the,
Disney
the blue.
has it.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
they were just trying to have their color the way like Gatorade is that
Has
like
orange,
greenish
yeah.
or yellow or the orange. You're right.
Oh, I think a Glacier Freeze for Gatorade.
Sure, but that's
I
not
do
what's in
like
the
that.
commercials.
No,
No, you can't
Gatorade
red
owns
Gatorade.
the color orange as far
Oh,
as I'm
see, I
concerned.
don't know if I've ever bought an orange Gatorade, but I've had
think, like-
gallons and gallons.
Yeah,
of
but
everything.
like
Like
the
OG,
mix.
yeah, I think OG, like the Florida Gators Gatorade was that yellowish color, right?
Yeah.
That's what it was.
All right, gang. This now comes from Ross from Gig Harbor, soon to be
Oh, hey.
Claire. Hey, Bomberinos. I'm moving from Washington State to Wisconsin in a couple weeks for work, and the fact that I've been priced out of my hometown. Super nervous about it. No friends or family out there. I'm really glad I'll have you all to listen to as a form of stability. I've been listening since 2014. Wow, 10 years has flown by. Thanks, bud.
11, but who's counting? Okay.
All right, Bagler, don't grab while he's expressing gratitude. If you had to move to a different state, where would you move and why? Also, my wife sold my PS4, two Wii's, in my 360, Skyrim, Smash Brothers Brawl, Titanfall 1, controllers, and the works at our garage sale while I was at work. Can you guess how much?
I can because it's here.
Well,
I don't know.
Wait,
All
But
of
it's
that,
those
not
things for
crazy.
one price?
It's
I
not
love
really.
those things.
Oh, I
none
hope
of those
it's
are
more than-
particularly expensive, though.
maybe $250 for all of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say something like that.
Yeah, that's the range.
$70.
Oh, wow.
I mean, sure, that's low, but like also none of those are super
right,
valuable
but-
right
Yeah,
now.
but that's why he's moving. Also, he's
No,
he's
wait,
getting
was this like-
divorced.
Divorce. Oh yeah,
Was it done behind his back? Is that the implication?
that's
Yes.
weird if that's the case.
Ooh,
Yeah.
it said while he was
That's
at
no
work,
good.
right?
It's like my mom sold all my Happy Meal toys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate
That's,
that.
2 Wii's should go for 100. Right?
2 Wii's.
Wii's
I
are
think
cheap. Wii's are real
yeah,
cheap.
are they? Yeah.
The
They're-
PS4 would go for more than the Wii. The 360s are pretty cheap, but like Skyrim, Smash Brawl. I mean, as far as Smash Brothers
Didn't
Brawl,
they
is
say
the cheapest.
controllers?
Yeah.
Controllers, yeah. I mean,
It's more than 70.
It's
it
more than
is,
70.
but it's not
250
crazy. It's not like a
pushing it.
grand, you know.
yeah.
No, it wasn't selling GameCube shit.
PS4 alone is like 70. Like honestly, it might be
Right.
much more
I
than
could
that.
not much, maybe a Pro, but a base PS4, I'm gonna guess 100, maybe.
Yeah, I think like 150. I think.
I think Wisconsin's a great state. I
Yeah.
have a
Seems
friend
nice,
who lives
yeah.
in Milwaukee.
The
It's
question
nice.
is, what was the question? Where
What
What
would
if
we
you had to
move?
move to another state?
And I hear that Florida siren call sometimes, but there's things about Florida that
do?
aren't great.
No.
Heat is one. Yeah. Heat is one of them. Even in May, it was a bit much how hot it was there.
Among
Florida.
other things in Florida.
Yes,
Florida would
other
maybe
things,
be
yeah.
my 50th state that
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I mean, and that includes like, Alaska, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I mean,
honestly, I'd go to
Alaska be
Alaska
my top
over
10,
Florida.
I think. Yeah.
Oh,
Alaska
there's
would be
good
kinda fun.
fishing in Alaska, boy.
It would just you'd have
Live in
to
Shadow
fly
Moses.
so far to go anywhere if you live in Alaska, though. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
not in Florida. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
that's it. Like,
But this
I
is-
understand Mulaney has a really good bit about why Florida is the punchline to everything.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I'm
Mulaney's
just
also
tr-
the punchline of a lot of things.
By the way, his new show is incredible. That Netflix
yeah?
show.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm shocked. It's like energy of like old Conan and Letterman. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. Yes.
I have liked visiting Dan quite a lot in Minnesota. I think I would be
Good
completely
place.
happy there. For
I would go to Colorado.
Yeah, we would move back to Denver if we could afford it for sure. Yeah.
Southern California.
That's not a different state.
Nah, it feels like one.
Might as
Oh,
well be.
Maine. I would live in Maine.
I'd consider Wisconsin. I mean, it's like 10 minutes from me right now, and
Sure.
still go to the Twin Cities, and yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely mostly just want to keep staying in Ohio till I die. I think I like Ohio quite a lot.
I would think about Hawaii, but that would make the time difference between me and y'all terrible.
Impossible.
I saw the
Unworkable.
Lilo and Stitch live action remake talking about Hawaii.
I thought it was fine.
Fine is right. A generous
Minotti,
fine. Yo,
Be honest. If Disney wasn't in Florida, you'd have no place saying that, right?
would Universal be there still?
No, they're both
Yeah, I mean,
gone.
to be clear, yeah, it's 1,000,000% about being close to
Okay,
the theme
cool.
parks
Okay.
and going all the time.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Because even when you're
What else?
there,
Yeah.
you're not really in Florida. Let's
No,
be
I know
honest.
exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like I would live like right by there and
yeah,
having
just the
passes. I'd
weather.
be there
You're
all the
just-
time.
it's just the
I'd
same
probably
weather.
work for them
Yeah,
in
can
like, one
people
way or
s-
another.
Can people still move into Triumph, Florida? What is it? What is
Celebration.
Celebration. Can people still
Yeah.
move to
Oh.
Disney's town?
Yeah, and they have like an even fancier one, like actually in Disney World. That's very expensive.
It's crazy.
Celebration's still a thing.
My wife's boss has a place in Celebration. So
Ooh, you know what? I did really, really, really like Philadelphia when Dan and I were there.
That was a great time. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
yeah, big Philly style.
we can all agree, no New Jersey though, right? Come
I
on.
mean, that's
Jersey
fine. We're,
gets a bad
hey,
rap.
We're full.
Jersey's
it's
fine.
cool. We're full. Thank
I'm
you.
pro Jersey. Yeah.
Pennsylvania is another one where you do have to specify West Pennsylvania or East Pennsylvania. That's a very.
I think you have
state.
to specify it
In
for
West
Jersey
Philadelphia.
There you go, Jan.
Playground. I've been spending most of my days.
Oh fuck.
too. I think no one. Well, because Philadelphia is essentially like Southwest New Jersey.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Chilling,
In a weird
relaxing,
way.
Relaxing all cool, shooting some b-ball outside of high school.
Yeah, we get
All
it,
right,
Mike.
next email.
Don't you forget about me.
I will. Next email comes from Cooper in San Jose. Hey, folks, after hearing last week's episode where y'all talked about memes and brain rot, I figured I would never have a better time than now to send this email. I work as a high school English teacher, and for their final projects, I had my AP kids create presentations on any subject of their choosing. One of my groups chose Italian brain rot as
Oh
their
my
topic.
god.
Wait,
And
that's
another-
an actual thing? You weren't just making a joke earlier?
No,
No.
it's real.
No,
I
no.
told you. Dib came home and he's like, "Dad, sit down."
Oh, right.
And And another chose teaching Mr. Cooper about the internet.
Oh, hanging with Mr. Cooper. That's awesome.
After hearing their presentations and learning about Tralalero, Tralala, a three-legged shark with blue shoes, Bombardino Crocodilio, an Air Force bomber with a crocodile head. Note, Dan, maybe this is a new antagonist for another Air Force Gator book.
I will sue a fucking kid.
You got a lawsuit
I
on
will
your
sue a
hands, dude.
child.
And Ballerina Cappuccina,
What?
a ballerina.
Wait,
That's
really?
real.
That's Italian brain rot?
Yes,
My kids
that's-
have been saying fucking ballerina cappuccina to me
Grubb.
for 100 times today for the last week.
Where did they learn this?
Grubb,
I don't know.
It's school. It's just this. Mike's right. It's the streets. No,
I was
but
literally about to Google, is ballerina cappuccina Italian brain rot?
Yes, 100%. That is like on the encyclopedia entry. That's what you get.
Oh, okay.
Ballerina Cappuccina, a ballerina with a cappuccino for a head.
Yeah.
I realized that it's effectively a new wave of Dadaism art. Dadaism was a counterculture art
what's
style
that?
around the 1920s that utilized nonsensical noises and sounds, vibrant colors, loose shapes, random objects, and was essentially your great grandparents' brain rot.
Yeah,
Wait, Tomb. Is that something?
You don't know
that I've not heard of.
Okay, because I think he's the other guy that hangs out with ballerina cappuccina.
His friend.
Sure. Essentially, when I told the kids about this, they were bored out of their minds and visibly upset I wasn't disgusted and repulsed by their nonsense.
Oh, they want a
Teenagers
reaction.
hate nothing more than adults accepting, even using their culture and memes.
Yes.
Oh, they hate that.
Yeah.
It's that
Absolutely.
Pokemon episode
This
of
is-
South Park.
It's
all
what my
right.
dad does at every holiday thing. Is he asks me like, "What are kids saying now?" And I'm like, "Just say skibbity," and I'll say that around my nieces, and they will hate it so fucking
That's pretty
much.
good, actually.
Yes.
That's good.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, Cooper in San Jose, for that informational dump there about ballerina cappuccina. I think Dan may have a legal case against
Yeah,
Bombardino Crocodilio.
yeah, I don't like that one.
Toon Sahur is an anthropomorphic wooden object resembling an Indian club and bedug drum and holding a baseball bat. Yep, that's him.
Sounds
That's
problematic.
Yes, that's my kids have also been bringing up tung to me a bunch, and I'm like, okay, what
Do
is
they
going
like
on?
have the internet or like? What
You
do
know,
they-
I think YouTube just sort of like finds
Does it
its
for
way
them?
to
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that is weird. Where like you would think there would be such diversity in slang, but somehow there's enough of like a sort of overhead of connective tissue where everyone is on the same page about something with very little overlap. It's very
I mean,
weird.
it happened even like in our day, right? Where
Yeah.
it's like a lot of these things would have spread from school to
Yes.
school across the country, and you're like, how did that work without the like? We had the early internet, maybe.
Sure.
but that's
But it
not the
wasn't
same
through
as how
that. It
works.
was
No.
it was just through like rec sports and like
Yeah.
other
It would be
things
like
where you
everyone
would-
just started going not because of like Wayne's World. Like that's basically
yeah,
what
that-
we-
that- everything
movies
came
are
from
for.
something.
Iago from Aladdin said that.
Yes, that's where it came from.
Hired Sword wants to know, is like a bowl of spaghetti or something count as Italian brain rot?
No,
It does now.
I
no,
mean,
but
maybe.
we're too old to contribute to the brain rot.
Yeah, we can just be observers. Like,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Tasteful
You know.
observers, like the man on Mars. Okay.
Yes. Bombcast at giantbomb.com is the email address to send all of your emails to. I love and appreciate all of them, and I do read all of them. If you didn't make it into the show, sorry. We'll maybe catch you next week. But that's not it. Mike Minotti, read some goddamn super chats. We're adding this to the email segment. Appending it here. Go.
Yeah. That boy Jerry says, "Where's our new gamer rep, Mitch?" Yeah, look, things got a little busy over here. TGIFI Bromalgia says, "Pronounce my
Nope.
name, Mike." Secondly, would you rather play the first Turok or Doom 64? I played both of those Night Dive remasters, and they're both good. But Doom 64 is like noticeably a better better video game than Turok 1 is.
It's a TGI fibromyalgia. That's the name.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's right. My bad. Shit.
We do this every time they super chat.
Hired Sword says, "My niece and nephew call me Uncle Bobo. It basically means dummy in Portuguese, but my sister started it and it stuck." That's cute.
Hell yeah. Same thing in Tagalog.
Yeah. T Money OG says, "I like Mike Minotti. He is cool and he does not shoot dogs like his grandpa, Peanuts." That's correct. I have never shot a dog.
successfully.
Yeah.
It's a terrible aim.
Rhea says, well, if I was a co-owner of Giant Bomb and a dog killing family wanted to nickname me bitch, I'd worry. Jason Vanelli says, don't need to read this, just supporting the boys. Well, you can't tell me what to do, Jason, can you? P-Buck says, thoughts on Hangman's body.
Oh my god.
What?
What about his
Hangman?
body specifically?
What?
Yeah, it probably hurts.
Yeah.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Hangman Adam Page.
Page.
He's a
the wrestler who had a
Oh.
killer match this
Are we asking
weekend,
if he's like hot or if he's banged up?
I would imagine it hurts.
He has a
Screaming-
kid, so people find him hot, or at least a person.
Yeah.
Screaming Madden says, when will Dan get the crew to watch Love on a Leash? And in return, can Mike make the crew watch We Wish You a Turtles Christmas in December? We Wish You a Turtles Christmas is one delightful and like 17 minutes long. So
I will. Love on a Leash is worse than Noobs, and so I am thinking about changing the Noobs hole for this year. It might play both. It might play both in there.
At the same time,
Yes.
Oh,
you can't adjust the volumes. They're
That's
the same.
correct.
Like they're both. Oh,
They're both
okay.
very loud. Yes.
Dan, if you
Oh,
can
God.
figure it out, you should have them like panned in opposite channels as well.
Oh, okay.
Like
All right.
Noobs, you're seeing on your left, but hearing on your right, and then Love on a Leash.
Oh my
vice
God.
Other way.
You might need to fly out for extra life.
I might as well.
yeah. Thank you everybody for sending super chats. It was our first week with them on. I appreciate it. But yeah, it's another way for people to support us. So thank you very much.
We love and appreciate all of you. What do we got going on for the rest of the week, boys?
I'll do some Game S mornings. Yeah. Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. We're gonna have Chris Plant on the show tomorrow.
Hell yes.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got,
Awesome.
he's got a new podcast. He's launching. Actually, the first episode is out. We'll talk about that on the show tomorrow.
That's awesome. Love
I
that.
get to do Blight Club tomorrow, and unlike last time, I'm desperate to get back in there because I realized after the fact that when I beat a level, I didn't save, so I need to go back and play that stupid Atlantis level again, and that's been driving me crazy.
Well,
I didn't hear
Isn't
about
it
that
more
happening.
I think
That's
it's more
crazy.
complicated than that, isn't it? Because didn't you?
No, he should be able to just go back and beat that level.
Okay, so the timeline he's on, all the stuff he beat after that is still good. He
Right,
just needs to
yes.
beat that initial level
yeah,
again.
but Castle
Oh, okay.
2 is fine. That's still beaten, which was the easier level, to be fair. But I
Okay,
gotta go
okay.
back to SquarePants Atlantis or whatever that was.
Hell yes.
Remember SpongeBob SquarePants Atlantis? They made video games based off that special.
I believe it. 'Cause that's a very funny phrase. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Sure. Voicemail dump truck on Thursday, as well as an unprofessional Fridays this Friday. Bunch of quick looks have gone up in the last week. I suggest you go check those out. We'll also have a Despelote one dropping either later today or tomorrow. Grubb, that was a big ass file.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix that up. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It was way too big, like
Oh.
45 gigabytes or some shit.
All good. Is we got anything else we gotta touch base over?
Nope, just planning fucking next week, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be traveling next week at some point, so things will get hectic from that point out. But you'll have SGF, GB at night to look forward to, and we'll have plenty of other things happening as well. We'll get together and we'll make some things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some people have been asking about when I'm going to start playing Mist. It won't be
Have
till-
they? No, I'm kidding. I'm
Oh,
kidding, I'm
oh,
kidding,
oh,
I'm kidding.
people are clamoring.
I know
like
this
crazy.
is your thing. I'm just busting your chops, pal.
Not till after SGF, and there's like we come home on a Monday, or like the Monday's the next day, so probably not that day. So Monday the 16th of June is looking like a possibility for when Mist starts.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna hang out with you when you play that.
Oh God, I'm worried, boys, but it'll be fun. We're gonna have a great time at Summer Game Fest. Lots of fun shenanigans inbound. Until then, we'll see you next week, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we will.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait,
Yeah.
am I? Maybe. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week for another episode of the Giant Bombcast. He's been Mike. He's been Jeff. He's been Jeff. He's been Dan. I've been Jan. And you at home have been doing great lately. The new skincare routine, I can see it. It's doing wonders. Your skin is glowing. We'll see you next week. Goodbye. Kill YouTube. Goodbye, YouTube.
Beep, bop, beep, bop, bop, bop.
Faces and microphones.